Sharing my screen. Yeah, good morning, good morning. So today's agenda, okay. So far we have discussed VMs, okay, in both Windows and Linux, okay. Then we have discussed yesterday MS SQL, okay, server creation and database and how to access it with the SSMS. Okay. So today we are going to discuss majorly two things. One is storage account in Azure. Second, ADF. Okay, Azure Data Factory. So I'll just give a brief intro about these two. Okay, so what is storage account? Okay. It's very simple. As the name suggests, okay, this is a resource available in Azure Cloud, mainly for storing purpose. Okay, different types of data objects, okay, different types of data structures you can store in your account, and later you can perform some operations on it, or later you can connect it with some other application, so and so. All the things you can do here in the storage account. Okay, so why do we need to use a storage account? So what is the commonly people have a okay, this is also for storing. Okay, my Google Drive is also for storing. Okay, what is the difference between this? Okay, why Azure storage account is uh, different from a normal OneDrive or okay, people commonly have this thing. Okay, so I think we'll make it clear in the very first itself. Okay, so the first thing about the storage account, okay, it support wide variety of data types. Okay, data types. Data types in the sense Azure have defined a set of data types. Okay, depending on the context and usage and its own characteristics like access speed and kind of things. So commonly here we support okay blob. Okay, blob stands for binary large object. Okay, we'll again talk about blob. Don't worry. Then it has file storage. Okay, so basically Google Drive and all only focusing on this file storage type. Okay, but storage account support blobs also, file storage also. Then queue is there, queue storage and etc. Table storage, etc. Different types of dedicated storage types are there in the storage account. So we are talking about Azure storage account. Okay, Azure storage account. It's a little theory, then we'll directly go on to the activity part of it. Okay. Second, you have a lot of flexibility. Okay, flexibility in the sense you have complete control, or we can say more control over the setup part. Okay, like how you should need to configure the storing uh, things. Okay, how the mechanism should be, how the configuration should be. You have more control over setups. Therefore, you can do a lot of optimization. Okay, lot of optimization is possible. So what I am discussing the speciality of storage account. Okay, how it is different from a normal storage service provided by other things. So mainly we can say general. I mean simple terms. This is an enterprise solution. Okay, like uh, our Google Drive is a personal solution. So this is the enterprise solution. Okay, so that is why these have these things with it. Okay, and main thing it's support a lot of integration. Okay, integration with other services, especially within the Microsoft ecosystem. Okay, so other Azure services for today we will be doing connecting data factory with the storage account. Okay, likewise, you can connect, okay, integrated to another services. Okay, you can even connect to a web application running. Okay, you can fetch the data or you can push the data. So a lot of integrations are available here, and definitely you have more control over the access and security part of it. Okay, access controls and security. Okay, so these are like very few things I would like to highlight. Okay, there are many more things about Azure Storage Account. Okay, these are the reasons why we are storing our data in the Azure storage account. Okay, so some important points. So what is a storage account? It's nothing but a mechanism provided by Azure Cloud for storing your data objects, which is spread across different types. Okay, and later you can also perform some operations on it by fetching it from the storage account. Okay, so yeah, I think that will do. Okay, so again, come back to this theory part when we're doing the this one. So I have a request to all of you. Please stick to our resource group FDP 10. Please don't create any other resource group. Then if you create any such resource group, it will be get deleted, okay, in the real time. So that will be a problem for you also. So please keep it in the FDP 10. Second, kindly stick to the settings we are telling you. Okay, why we are telling you not to change a setting? There's a particular reason for it. I know everybody is curious about experimenting, but I request you not to do it. I will explain you all the settings why it is needed and all, but please go with the basic settings, okay, default settings, because otherwise it will be a problem. Okay, yeah. Thank you for your understanding. So what we're going to do, so log into your Azure portal. So you know that this is the home screen. So you know that we can find the services here or here. Okay. So or the easiest way you can search for it. Okay. So what we are going to do is search for storage account. Storage account. If you search, if you type only, you'll get it. I'll zoom in and show you. Okay. So please choose this storage account. Okay. The first one you are seeing. Okay. So it is having a like an icon like this with a blue green color, a cyan color. Okay, so use this. Don't use any other option. Okay. So select the storage account. So see, we are getting an interface similar to our yesterday's interface. For that, every resource will have a similar interface only. When we created a virtual machine also, SQL server also, similar interface only we are getting. So this is a page where we list all the storage accounts in our subscription. Okay, so as of now, there is no storage accounts to display. Okay, so click on create. You click on create. So there is no drop down, nothing. So directly you will be getting to the configuration page. Okay, so I'll repeat. Search for storage account. Okay, search for storage account. Click it. Come to this page. Click create. Okay, there is no drop down, nothing, no confusion. Click this plus button on the left top side. Click create. Immediately you'll come to the configuration page. So this is where you have to fill your details. Okay, the basic details, basic settings, the configuration. And once you submit it, what happens? Internally, it is creating a JSON file and sending these settings to the server. So the server will be allocating the resource you requested accordingly. So here we are requesting the server for a storage account based on the settings we are going to do now. Okay. So as usual, you can see basics, advanced networking, data protection, encryption tags. Okay, so how many tabs are there? Okay, so many tabs are there. Okay, so we'll go sequentially. But here also, I would like to tell you that we will be mainly doing only in the basic session. Okay, we won't be changing anything else. Okay, if at all anything is needed to change, I will tell you. You need to change only that. Okay, and yeah, so there are so many options. I will just focus on, I will explain you the important ones. Okay, yeah, I think we're good to go. I hope all of you got the screen, right? Yeah. So yeah, so you can choose subscription. Okay, so resource group already it is. See, I can again see different resource groups. Please don't create resource groups. I kindly request you all again. Yeah. So choose the resource group. Okay. So FDP 10. Okay, storage account name. So same thing. I will name it as okay, Helvin storage. Okay. Okay, Helvin storage is already taken. Okay, so I'll do one thing. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So you can name it. So you know that is just an identifier, right? So if you try to give a capital letter, you can see that it supports only lowercase and numbers. So yesterday also you must have noticed when you're creating SQL Server, the same criteria was there. But whereas in virtual machine, there was no such criteria. So this naming convention vary from resource to resource. Okay, so keep it lowercase and small letters and this one. So you are cannot use any special characters, anything here. Yes. So region Canada is comparatively little costlier. So let me try with West US 3. Okay. So I request all of you to choose different regions. Okay, don't stick to one region. Different regions you choose. Otherwise, what will happen? The region quota will exceed and your deployment will get failed. Okay. So performance, there is a standard and premium. Okay. So what is the difference between this? In virtual machine, we saw standard and premium SST. Okay, like that. So the premium means the latency will be very low. Latency means what? The read-write speed. Okay, that means the response time will be very high. Okay, that means very high. So it will be stored in a very responsive, very costly hardware setup. Therefore, there will be very less latency. So if you are doing any application where the time is very crucial, okay, the data fetching is very this one important. So that time you can go with premium. But most of the cases, normal cases, standard will be sufficient. Okay, so you can see the general purpose version 2 account. So this storage account have a version 1 general purpose, version 2, and a premium, like there's some classifications are there. So by default, now they're giving standard as general purpose version 2 account. Okay, that is good enough for almost all scenarios. So don't go with premium. Please don't go with premium. Stick to standard. Because we hardly do anything on it, like very few experiments we do. So you may not even feel the difference between standard and premium, but you will feel the difference in the billing part. So that's why. Okay, so redundancy again, we discuss it. Okay, we don't need any backups. Okay, we don't need any redundant copies. Okay, so we'll go for locally redundant. Okay, LRS. Okay, so locally redundant, that is the lowest cost, cost effective method. So it will have a copy. Okay, it will have a copy, but in the same data center. Okay, so why should we keep a copy for the same data center? For example, this particular disk where my data is storing, that disk is having a technical issue, or the server, particular server, or the server rack. Okay, or the particular component, or the particular server room. Okay, it might have an issue. So that what happens in the same data center in a different place, there will be copy. Okay, so that is good enough for a normal use cases. So when do we go for GRS and ZRS and all? If you want to go with the more sensitive data, like even the entire geographical region get affected. If you don't want to, yeah, if you don't have to have issue, then you can go with geo redundant. Yes, somebody was talking. Yes, sir. Yeah, okay, fine. So yeah, I hope this is clear for all. I'll give you 1 minute to do with me. Then I'll go to the next settings. Okay. So performance and redundancy, please stick to the cost effective option. Don't go for further options. So let me have a look at the participants. Yeah, okay, 352. Okay, so if anybody is yet to join, you can just inform them. Yeah. And please be sure that you are marking your attendance in the LMS also. Please join the meet also, mark your attendance in LMS also, because otherwise you won't get your certificates. Okay. So I don't want your presence to go for a waste. So make sure you're marking your attendance in LMS also. And once you miss, you cannot mark it. So today's the third day. So you still have option to get a certificate if you attend all the days from today, still you will get certificate. But make sure you're marking attendance there also, and you're joining here also, meet on time and staying for the full time. So let's go to the next option.
Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, sir. I actually maybe I'm attending to the session, but I don't know how to mark that link. Could you please send the link? Where
Okay,
exactly
okay.
to mark that?
Okay, ma'am, just post it in the chat. I think Shashadan will follow up on that attendance thing.
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you. So let's go to the advanced settings. Okay. So some settings may not be visible for you. Depends on what we did in the basics. Okay. For some settings will be only for the premium and all. But yeah, so basic settings, advanced, what is coming here, security aspect of it. Okay. How should you allow access to the storage account? Okay, storage account. So first one, require secure transfer for REST API operation. That means the REST API, RESTful API. So you using a HTTP request, we can ask for a data from a storage account. So this by default it is enabled. That means any request it will allow only through HTTPS. Okay, it will allow only secure transfer. Because maybe later you this storage account you might be using it your website. Okay, your web application or something. That time it is better to go with this secure transfer. Okay, so by default it is on. Let it be. Then allow enabling anonymous access on individual container. That means there's a concept of container. Okay, we will be doing that next. Okay, once we create storage account, we'll make containers in it. So container is nothing but a structuring. Okay, creating a classification inside the storage account. So do you want to give anonymous access to individual container? Okay, not on the full storage account. Individual container, if you want to give anonymous access, you can do that, but we won't do that because anonymous access, again, it's a security problem. Okay, so we don't do that. Enable storage account key access, so that is by default is enabled, so you have to go with that only. Okay, so using a token, okay, using a key, unique key, you can connect to your storage account. For example, from your Power BI, you can connect to the storage account using this access key, or using your any third-party software, you can connect to it. Or if you have a CMS, okay, or like a content management system, or if you have a CRM, okay, resource management software, anywhere, if there is an option to connect to a particular resource on the web, okay, you can use a particular key, okay, access key, and you can use it. I will show you where you get that key and all. And Entra authorization, we already discussed. Microsoft Entra authorization is a single authorization for all the resources. Commonly, organizations give that to the employees. Okay, so we are not using it. Okay, we are using individual accounts. So we don't have the Entra authorization setup. So we don't have to use
Kelvin, sorry for the
yes.
interruption. There is a request for zooming the screen.
Oh, Zoom. Okay, okay. Thank you, Natashan. Yeah. So you can see the same settings in US. I'm just briefing. Okay, I'm repeating that you don't have to make any changes. Okay, don't make any changes. I'm just giving a brief idea of what is what. Okay, it's not literally possible to go each one of the settings, but yeah, generally I'll stress upon the important ones. Okay, and TLS, you know that transport layer security. Okay, so that means it should be given as maximum security. Okay, the latest version. So you can see automatically it will be choose 1.2. Okay, that is the highest version. So just to ensure the highest security. Okay, so copy operation. Okay, copy operation is one operation what we are going to do today. So should you allow the copy operation on your particular storage account? So who should be allowed to copy? Okay, so by default it is from any storage account. So let it be like that. Okay, so we can copy to another storage account. We can do so and so and so. So don't change any of this. And hierarchical namespace, see like how in our Windows file system, we have that hierarchy, right? C colon like that. So if you want to keep such a namespace, okay, naming convention with the directories and all for your storage account, we usually use this, but no need as of now. Okay, so basically don't change anything. Okay, so these options are not given. Okay, these options are not given. So this depends on here. So once you enable this only, these options will come. Okay, access protocols. Okay, you whether you have to go for secure file transfer protocol and other network sharing, etc., etc. So no need to do anything here. Okay, this is disabled. And blob storage. Okay, yeah, now this is important. Okay, this is important. Okay, this I would like to discuss. So this is important. Access tier. Okay, so this access tier contribute or affect your billing majorly. Okay, so you have two access tiers. One is hot and one is cool. Okay, hot is, as you can just assume, that frequently access data. Okay, so if you are doing a web application daily, there will be data accessing from the client side or the admin side. So daily accessing of data, if it is happening, that means frequently access. Okay, so that is hot tier. Then what is cool tier means once in a while only you will be actually accessing the data. So that means, for example, backups, okay, archives, backups and all. So what happened once we backup, do we go check the backup every day? No. When a situation arises, we will be going and checking the backup. So once in a month or once in a week maximum. Okay, that's all we will access the backups. So now we are going with hot only. So hot will be usually the billing will be more and cool will be the billing will be less. Okay, so this what we're choosing here, access tab, this is generally for your storage account. Later for each container, okay, inside storage account, we will create containers. So individual container also you will be able to configure this. Okay, but this is generally all the things you're creating in your storage account will by default come under hot access tier. So what is access tier? It is a classification based on how frequently your storage account is accessed. Okay. And then here one option is a cross-tenant replication. That is like, do you want to allow multiple tenants to replicate your storage, blob storage? For example, if you are authorization, if you are inside an organization, there will be authorized personals, right? So do you want to allow others also in your same organization to replicate your blob storage and all? So cross-tenant mean multiple access perspective. Okay, so you don't have to do that also. So basically, you don't have to change anything. So last option here in advanced settings, enable large file share. So this you can maybe note it by default file storage. Okay, so this is about blob storage. Okay, this is about file storage. So this settings is general for the storage account. Inside that there is a classification. So file storage by default storage account support up to 5 TB. Okay, 5 TB, 5 terabyte. So if you enable this option, okay, it will support up to 100 TB. Okay, but we don't need that. Again, it will be a problem for billing. So don't enable this option. Okay, go with the default one. Okay, so by default, it support 5 TB. If you enable this, you'll support up to 100 TB. So this is so many settings are there. Okay. See, most of the settings are self-explaining. Then I also gave you a tip, right? What is the tip? You can go to this eye icon here. Okay, so that is info. Okay, this is the tooltip will come. The tooltip will have an explanation of what is the settings for. Okay, so if you're not sure about setting, you can read it. Also, you have a learn more option. That will take you to Microsoft official documentation. So you can go read there also. Okay, so don't change anything in the advanced. Please don't change anything. Okay. Yeah. Are we good to go for the next one? Yeah, I'll just give you a few seconds. Okay. Yeah. So zoom in and zoom out anything is if you have any such requests, okay, you can unmute and tell, no issues. Okay. I will take anything apart from with respect to today's topics. If you need any clarification, feel free to ask, no issue. We won't be discussing anything we discussed previously. Okay, so that any doubts regarding previous sessions, we can take it for the afternoon. So ongoing, if you are not able to do anything along with me, you can definitely tell it, no issue. Yeah, so let's go to networking. Okay, so can anybody tell me what is this network access? What do you mean by enable public access from all network? What is the idea? What is the meaning of this public access? Anyone, any idea?
Maybe anybody can access.
Yes, exactly.
right?
Yes, without geographical difference, without which network they are using, which network connection they are using, without regardless of which IP address they have, anyway, everybody can access. Okay, for common access, public access. So all the cloud resource we go with public access only. Then what we do, public access doesn't mean okay everybody can come and access. Obviously there will be a authentication factor there. Okay, but we commonly keep the endpoint open for everybody. Okay, but if you are going with very sensitive data, confidential data and all, it is prone to attacks. Okay, if somebody get our IP address, they can try the this one brute force and all, they can try it. So in that case, we can restrict the access into particular IP address or a private network, so and so. So by default, we'll go with public access only. Okay, so because we don't know who all is going to use our storage account, multiple people might be using. Whoever you share that access key, they can access it. Okay, just like our virtual machine, anybody with the IP address and login credential, they can log in. Same concept. So network routing, okay, we don't have to do it. It's how the network should be routing. So let's go with Microsoft network routing only because that is much better from the point of view of Azure. Okay, so how the network should come, okay, how the routing should happen to your storage account. Okay, so let's keep it Microsoft network routing only. Okay, so network is not really important here. Okay, I would say in the storage account point of view, see very less options also we have. But advanced settings, we have so many options. And next, data protection, we have so many settings. Okay, that is also important. So no changes in network. I repeat, no changes in network. Let's go for data protection. Okay, now this is important. Please don't change anything here. Okay, please do not change any settings here. Okay, yeah. So why? Because if you change any settings, no, then it is going to be a very big problem. Okay, so I will tell you why. Yeah. So by default, okay, by default, we do have enough options. That is enough. By default, they give decent enough option. Okay, we don't need anything further for normal case. So recovery options. Enable soft delete for blobs. So what do you mean by soft delete? Can anybody tell me what is the meaning of soft delete? Soft delete. Web development, web developers and all will be commonly using this term called hard delete and soft delete. Okay, so I will tell that soft delete is like a temporary delete. So the file won't be actually deleted from our storage. It will be keeping somewhere for a particular time period so that we can restore it. I will make it simple. See, in our Windows system, whenever we delete something, normal delete button, it will be in the recycle bin. Any point of time, you can take it back. Okay, usually in 30, maybe automatically your recycle bin will clean or you will manually clean it. Or if you take your trash of your Gmail, okay, so it will keep there, it will retain there for 30 days. Then after that, it will be permanently deleted. So after 30 days, you cannot take it back. So in Windows, we have delete and shift delete. Delete is like a soft delete, shift delete is like a permanent delete. So likewise, here also in your storage account, there is a facility for recovering the data. So everything that you delete by default will happen in soft delete. Okay, so up to 7 days, there will be a possibility for retaining it. Okay, up to 7 days by default, there will be a possibility for retaining it, taking it back. Okay, so this we can increase to number of days. So the more you increase, the more the cost will be, right? Because till that they have to keep your data. Okay, so that is a headache from their side, cloud service provider side. Okay, so here soft delete is enabled for the blob. Okay, blob is a type of storage. Soft delete is enabled for containers. Containers also we create inside the storage account. Soft delete is enabled for files also. So basically for everything what you store inside the storage account, there is a soft delete option by default enabled. Like if you don't want this, if you don't want soft delete, you can switch it off. So if you don't want recovery at all, you can switch it off. Okay, so if you don't have soft delete, again your billing will be less. Okay, if you disable it, billing will be less. But let it be, no issue. Okay, don't change anything here. Then after recovery, okay, see each settings is classified in the subheading, right? After recovery, there is important settings here. Okay, tracking. Okay, tracking. So that means every changes, okay, every changes you make, Azure will keep a track of it. Simple example, we all use Google Doc, we all use Google Sheets. So whenever somebody make a change, if multiple people are working on it, we can see the version history there. So if somebody by mistake deletes something, what we can do, we can go to a previous version where the deletion didn't happen. Okay, so like that, it will keep a versioning. Okay, every changes will be recorded. Okay, again, this is a costly affair. Okay, so don't choose anything here in tracking. Okay, don't choose anything here. Okay, and this is a very dangerous settings. Okay, enable version level immutability support. Okay, so if you enable this, then it will prevent others from deleting your resource for a particular time period. So this is very costly affair. If you switch it on, it is going to be headache later. Okay, so this is all the settings you have to be very sensitive. You have to be take decision based on your data, based on your management perspective. Okay, otherwise it is going to be a problem. Okay, immutability means it cannot be changed. Okay, the versions cannot be changed. Editing restriction, deletion restriction, and all will come. Okay, up to a particular time. So don't choose any of this. Okay, don't choose any of this, but have an idea. Okay, what is tracking? What do you mean by this access control? Okay, like that, have an idea what is what. Okay, so just zooming out because nothing is changed. Okay, nothing is changed. Just read it. That's it. Any issues? Anybody have any doubts? You can ask. If not, we'll go. We 10:05. Okay, we have few minutes. So I think we are good to go. So please don't make any changes.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Yes,
Sir,
ma'am.
like there are some types of storage I've heard, like in some theory I've read, like block storage, object storage. Do you have any option of mentioning that also, or what they mean like here?
Yes. Once we create the storage account, no, then inside the storage account we can use these types of storage. What does that means? For example, how do I say simply? Yeah, any application. For example, you take a website or take a mobile app or something. We don't know how they internally store it, right? We have queues, tag, linked list, etc. Different type of data structures. But same thing, I can store all the options, right? Same thing I can store in all the options. Or we can say if you know Python, list is there, tuple is there, dictionary is there. The same data I can store. Then how it is different? How it supports accessibility? What is the basic idea of the storage? Okay, some storage is created for some reasons, right? For example, yeah, these are the common storages. So blob stands for binary large object. So blob we are going to discuss in detail. Okay, blob, binary large object storage. So why blob is important? Blob is known for its scalability. Okay, first of all, it support unstructured data. Structured data. Okay, and is highly scalable. Okay, highly scalable storage compared to other storage provided by Azure. Okay, so this is commonly why we use blob. So unstructured means blob support all the types. It support text also, multimedia also. It support everything. Okay, so it support text, by multimedia, everything, images, all those things it support. Okay, and also it is very high performance. Okay, high performance also this blob is giving. Okay, and also it's supported by our Azure Data Factory. ADF support is there. So later we are going to create a blob storage now after creating the storage account. Then we will be accessing data to Data Factory. That is today's main agenda. Okay, so then what is this files? Okay, files is commonly for if you want to deploy a website or if you want to organize something in the cloud. Okay, where these things are not really a big deal. Like scalability and performance and all is not a big problem. So that time we can go for files. Okay, file storage inside the storage account. And what is queue? Queue is commonly used for storing what we say, this communication services like messaging and all. Okay, if you want to store messages between two real-time applications and all, we commonly go with queue. And table, as you know, that commonly it is for structured data. Okay, so blob is mainly for unstructured data, and it is highly scalable. So that is the main characteristics. Like this, each of the storage have its own characteristics, and also the protocol or the technology behind it will be different. Okay, for example, tables use something called like block storage setup, and these queues are using a particular protocol for transferring data. So like that, there are some common differences between them. Okay. Yeah. So Ashur has kindly request all of you to mute. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, depends on your need. Okay. So Ashur has commonly classified into these types. Okay. Depends on common needs. So that is a basic idea. So theoretically, whatever you read is correct. So what to choose, when to choose is based on our requirement. Okay. Like I said, okay, different protocols, different need they are implemented. Okay. It's not only limited to this. Okay. This is limited to storage account. Ashur do have Cosmos DB also and other types of storage also, data lakes, etc., etc. So each is created for a reason, I would say. Okay, if you go to AWS or if you go to GCP, they have their own setup. Okay, queues, files, blob and all common, but they have their own separate storage also.
I have
So-
muted Helvin.
Yeah, thank you, Shashik. Yeah. So next is encryption. Okay, so you know what is encryption? It is converting your data into a non-readable format using a key. Then we can decrypt it and take it back. Basically, it comes from data security only. So I would say all the cloud systems, okay, anywhere, everybody is using encryption in the backend. You know, nobody can just store the data as it is. Why? Because if somebody get access by mistake, also issues also unauthorized access and all, they shouldn't able to understand the content in it. So by default, encryption is enforced for security purpose. So you have an option to choose the keys, okay, like Microsoft managed keys and also customer managed key. So customer managed key means if you want to go more sophisticated, okay, if you want to go more into it, okay, if you want to have a certain custom key, okay, encryption key and all, we'll go that. If you choose that, again, many settings will come. So we don't go with that. Let's keep Microsoft managed key only. That is good enough. Okay. So that's it about the settings part. And tags, I don't have to explain, you know. Then review, we can just review it and we can create. Okay.
Do we need to make any changes in data protection? I
No,
just
no,
watched the connection.
absolutely no, no changes. I was just explaining everything, no changes.
Encryption.
Especially, especially in data and protection, don't make any changes. That's a request from our side. Yeah. So we did basics only, but I'm telling you these things. Okay, maybe in future or if you want to know what is what, I just briefly I was explaining within the given time. Yeah. So tags also, you know that it's a metadata for classification of resources and grouping them and all. Okay, we don't do that. It is common for all that resources, and we can review it. So you can see the validation is running and we'll create it. We are running out of time, so we'll quickly create it and finish it. Okay. Yeah. So I'll create. So you can just read everything is fine, and we can just create. I have submitted for deployment. Okay. So meanwhile, I'll do one thing. I'll give you an Excel file, or you can use any Excel file in your, if you have with you, not an issue. I'll share one Excel file in this. Just show you an Excel file. I'll just share this. A symbol, okay, it's a sample data, employee data. So just to upload in our storage account, okay, I'm just giving you a sample file. Later we may use this file also. So If you have any small Excel file, you can use that, not an issue. Share it in the chat. Okay. So what exactly we are going to do? Yeah, you can see deployment is completed. So you can see that it's comparatively faster than other resources. Okay, because storage
Sir,
account
under
is
tags,
allocated.
we don't have to do anything, na? Under
No,
tags?
no, sir.
Okay,
What is the
okay,
use of
thank you.
tags? It's just a metadata. You can give later. We can manage. Okay, this is created by Helvin for this reason. Like that, I can encode some data into my resource. Tags are common for all Azure resources. Okay, we don't have to do anything. Okay, we have already discussed tags. That's why I didn't discuss it again. Yeah. So once the deployment is complete, as usual, you can go to resource. Okay, so you see the overview page. Okay. Performance is standard. Replication is LRS, locally redundant storage. Okay. Type of account is general purpose version 2. Okay. Provisioning succeeded. Provisioning succeeded means, okay, you got allocated. Okay. Location, resource group, everything you can see here. So how do I upload a file to this storage?
Hello.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
shall we click on go to resource after that? After
Yes, yes.
deployment is completed?
Yes. Just
Yeah,
click
okay.
go to resource.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So you can just verify the things in the overview page. If you go to the left side, okay, all these things you can see, okay, details, everything you can see, monitoring, okay. So like it's like how much, what is happening in your data storage, how much accessing is happening, any latency issues there, breakdown is there, requests are not served. So it's like a dashboard kind of setup, monitoring in your storage account. Okay, like this, you can go and explore these things later. Okay, so what I am interested, what we are concentrating today, go to the left side pane. Okay, I'll zoom in. See the data storage option, container, file storage, queues, table. So I just briefly told you these are multiple options. So internally how it is stored, okay, why it is created, the reasons are different. Internally how it is stored, the underlying data structure and protocols are different. That's it. Okay, so commonly, if you're not sure about the type of data, we will always go with blob storage only. Okay, because it supports all types of data and it's also having high performance and also scalability. So how do I upload my Excel sheet into my storage account? Okay, that is what we are going to do. Very simple. So what we should do, click on this container. Click on this container. Okay. So you'll get a list of containers. Okay. So by default, you can see logs. Okay. Log is automatically created. So log is a file which keeps all the details of your what all actions happening in your storage account that will be stored here in the logs. Okay, so we are going to create a new container. So again, I told you what is a container. It's nothing but a structuring. So we discussed about blob. Okay, container in storage account, nothing but structuring. Okay, it's like folder setups, structuring of your data. Okay, like a folders, containers. Okay, so we are going to create a container. You can name it like however you like. Usually we name it on the use case, like source container, destination container, data source one, like that we give name it, but let's just create any name. Okay, click on container. It will open a new container option here. You can give test container or my container, anything. Okay, imagine it's like a folder, that's it. Okay, so you can click create. No need to do any changes. Okay, don't go to advanced, nothing is needed, just create it. Okay, so you can see successfully created storage container. Okay, I'll repeat again. Okay, I'll repeat again, not an issue. So once you click go to resource, you'll get in this overview page. Just read the essential part. Okay, just verify these things are correct. Okay, if at all you see that if you choose something wrong here, okay, high costing, kindly delete it and create again. So you can see we can delete here. There's an option to delete your storage account. You can delete it. Okay. If everything is fine, go to left side pane. Okay, left side toolbar. Under the head data storage. Okay, go to containers. Go to containers. Okay. Okay, somebody else has created container in my account, I think. Okay, do it in your storage account. Okay, don't use my account. Create your own storage account and do it there. So yeah, so test container. Okay, 2 are there. Okay, so if you want to delete, you can just delete it. Okay, no offense, I'm just showing deletion. Okay, whoever has created it, I'm just showing the deletion. Okay, if you want to delete this folder container, you can delete like this. Okay, so whatever is there inside that, it will be also deleted. It's just like a normal folder. Okay, so if we delete the folder, the contents in the folder also deletes. Okay, so I have a logs by default. You all will have the same log container. Then I created a test container. So now click on this container. Okay, click on this container, open it. Yeah, open the container. Now you can upload your file. Okay, open the container, then you can upload your file. Okay. So go to storage account, go to containers, create a container, open the container, go to upload option. Okay, go to your container is open. You can see test container. Okay, type is container. Okay, on top you can see that path. Okay, home, Helvin storage, container. Okay, upload. You can drag and drop your file here, or you can browse it. So I would drag and drop the file. So I'm uploading the sample data, employee sample data, Excel sheet. You can see the extension is XLSX. Okay, that is the Excel extension. Okay, you can see here, I selected it. Click upload. That's it. Successfully uploaded one blob. Okay, so in that container, okay, containers are mainly for the blob storage. So in our storage account, we have created a blob and we are uploaded a file. Okay, so do till this. We have 10 minutes. So I would like to show you some options here. Okay, I would like to show you some options here. So upload the file and do let me know.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
So we can upload any kind of file like this. Currently, we uploaded the Excel sheet, so we can upload a PDF, Words.
Yes. You can, anything you can upload. I would request to upload something small. Okay, something small. Yeah. You can upload anything.
If you,
yeah,
sir, excuse me, if I would like to make it private or secure, is it any way we can do that?
It is already private, no, ma'am. Nobody can access it. It's already private. You have to share your access key, then only somebody else can access it.
Okay. Can I find that access key?
Yeah, that options come
That
in
means
your.
in my Azure account, it is safely uploaded the file. Nobody can
Yes.
access it.
No. See why you are able to access. No, in our Azure subscription, we have added all of you as a contributor, and we have given all of you the same permission. Okay, but in a real life, it will never happen. I have repeated the same point before. In an organization point of view, nobody will get the same privileges. Okay, everybody will have their own privileges. So whenever admin give you that account, that time itself you will have the restricted privilege. It's not like you can go access somebody else's account. No, it won't happen in a real time. Okay, so that time if you want to make others access, then you have to give like cross tenant option in your settings, or you have to give the access keys. Okay, I will show you that access key. It is in the storage account. Okay, the general for a storage account. In the overview, in that tab only you'll see. Okay, I'll show that later, not an issue. As of now, here itself, I want to explain few things. One thing, how do I see this uploaded file? Okay, how do I see the uploaded file? So if I click on this file, okay, so what I see is that details, okay, properties of the file. Okay, And also there is a download option. But without downloading, can I see that file? Okay, without downloading, can I see the file? That is the question. So what do? I'll just click this close button. Okay, right click. Okay, right click on the file. Okay, right click on the file. Then you will be seeing here an option, view or edit. View or edit. Okay, so click on this view or edit. Okay, so that time you will be able to see the data. I'll just zoom out once. Yeah. So that time you will be able to see the data. Here, Excel. May not render correctly. It is content unrecognized extension. Okay, I think even if you have PDF also, you might have the same issue here. PDF also you might have same issue here. Okay, let me try one more file. Okay, let me try one. Okay, let me try one CSV file. One second. Okay, I think Excel it is not showing preview. So by default, the preview may not be supported. Just check for a CSV file. Just to show you the preview how it comes. Okay. Employee. Okay, this is Excel file. This is CSV file. Okay. So I'll just right click, view edit. Yeah. So you can see that for CSV, it is showing you the preview. Okay. So if you uploaded PDF for Excel or in some format, it may not support. Depends on your file type. So for CSV, it supports. So CSV is the most favorite type in all these data factory everywhere. So what usually they recommend, convert your Excel files to CSV before uploading in data factory and all. Commonly they tell, but yeah, you can do operation like this previews and all sometimes. Okay, maybe a problem. Okay. So if you know how to convert Excel to CSV, you can just save as option and you can do it in CSV. Okay. Or I will do one thing. Okay. Or you can create a CSV file yourself and do, or I can also share you this CSV file. Okay, so more or like same data only. Just the extension is different. Yeah. So 1025. Okay. So if you want to see the preview, you can try this. Yeah. Like sorry. Few more options I would like to tell here. Okay, one is see the change tire option here on top, change tire. Okay, change tire. See the access tire here, hot. Okay, all files access tire is hot. Why it is hot? Because our storage account while we are setting up, we are given hot. Okay. Later, if an individual file, if you want to change the access tire, yes, it is possible. Okay. For individual tire, file access tire, if you later want to give, you can do that. Okay, you can choose the change tire. Okay, and you have options here. Okay. So you have cool, cold, etc. You have options here.
After clicking change tire, a dialog box is showing save and cancel. What to do? Save.
What is coming, ma'am?
After clicking on change tire, then just a minute.
Yeah. First you have to select the file. Yeah. First you have to select the file. Then you have to change tire. Yes. If you want to change the individual file. Yeah. Okay. I'm just telling this is not like mandatory. Just telling you options.
Hot. It's showing that hot. Hot tire.
Yes. Currently it is hot. Later, if you want to change the individual file into cool or anything, you can do that. Okay, this is the highest access.
Save it.
Yeah, less
then
access.
Save it.
Yeah, then save it. Very less access and very less access like that. Archive is like very rarely used. Then cold, then cool, then hot. So this option, then you have to save it. Okay, that is one thing you can do. Second thing, this lease option, occur lease. Okay. So if I click occur lease, okay, you can see that lease status successfully lease on the following block. Okay, the particular file I acquired the lease. So what happens if you acquire lease? It will restrict others from deleting or modifying it. See availability state here. Okay, lease state here. Okay, this is available for everybody for accessing. Okay, this is in the lease state. So if you acquire lease, if you click, okay, it will restrict others from editing, modifying. I mean, mainly for concurrent access modification. Okay, so acquire lease option mainly for concurrent access. It will prevent concurrent access. Okay, concurrent means simultaneously if some people edit it, it will lead to confusion, right? So if you want to save a file from others to access, you can use this acquire lease option. Okay, so how do I break it? Okay, how do I release it? Okay, it's like a holding and releasing. You can think of like hold it, release it. Once it is holding, somebody's holding it, nobody else can edit it at the same time or delete it. Okay, how do I release it? Click on this and break lease. Okay, so it will confirm. Okay, breaking lease will allow the selected blob to be deleted or modified. Okay, do you want to continue? Okay, so if I breaking lease, it will tell that if you break the lease, anybody can modify and delete it. Okay, so click OK. So these are some features inside your container. One is changing the tire, one is acquiring the lease. Okay, for a particular file, you can set up a lease condition. If you do the lease, it will be not modifiable or deletable. So that's it, the overview of our storage account. So try this, and again, we will be next activity, we will be using the storage account only for doing some operation. Okay, so we just created the storage account, we created the container, and when we uploaded the file and we saw these options. Okay, so that is what for today. Okay, till now what we discussed is this. Okay, yeah.
Alvin Pandey hasn't joined yet.
Okay, he's not joined it. Okay,
We can take the queries until.
yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, anybody have any doubts related to this, you can ask. Meanwhile, I'll just write it down. Okay, this acquire lease option. I hope all of you are trying it. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay, so this is the use of acquire lease option. Okay. Change tire to change default tire. Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am. One
How
at a
to
time.
view the content of the file, sir?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Hello, sir.
1 second, ma'am. I'll show this. Click on the file. Okay, right click on the file and view or edit. Right click on the file, view or edit. Okay, it is not supported for all the files. Okay, if you upload a video or if you upload a PDF and all, it may not work. Okay, so for selected types, it will show. It will try to preview. Okay, editing also same way. Not all the files you can directly edit from here. In that case, you have to upload, edit it, and upload back. Okay, so if CSV file, it will definitely support. You can right click preview. Okay, then you have an option here, preview. Okay, so you can see preview like this. Okay, CSV files, it do support. Yeah, right click and
Alvin.
Yes, Shashank.
Yeah, he has joined.
Yeah.
Hi, Pandey, are you there?
Hey, Shashank. Good morning, team.
Hey, good morning, Pandey. Good morning, nice to see you. Yeah. So I just share my screen.
Sure.
You can start.
May I know what is the current session going on, Shashank?
Current session, Pandey, we have just demonstrated how to create a storage account and container.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
And then we'll take after this Azure Data Factory.
Okay. Yeah. No problem.
Alvin, sir, can I ask a query now?
Ma'am, we'll take the queries after the session.
Okay, no problem.
So a very good morning to all the faculty members who are present today, and I have seen the participation very well in the last 3 days on the faculty members. So I'm glad that all the faculty members have joined today for this volunteering engagement session on the topic of cloud computing. I thank you all for joining the session, and to facilitate the session, we have the honor of hosting a distinguished expert in the field, Mr. Pandi Narayanan from EY GDS. Mr. Pandi, who is a senior manager, data and analytics with 18 years of experience in designing and implementing cloud solutions for different organizations. His expertise lies in helping businesses harness the power of the cloud to derive innovation, scalability, and cost efficiencies. Mr. Pandey also holds multiple industry certifications, including AWS Certified Solution Architect, Microsoft Certified Azure Solutions Architect. He has a deep understanding in requirements gathering, analysis, architecture, design, data modeling, implementation, testing for data warehousing applications. Today, Mr. Pandey will be sharing invaluable insights into the world of cloud computing, probably Azure Data Factory, discussing the trends, challenges, solutions, outcome benefits faced by an organization. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Mr. Pandey. We are privileged to have him here today to share his expertise and help us navigate the ever-evolving landscape of cloud and Azure Factory. I welcome you, Pandey. And I hope that throughout today's session, Pandey will be providing valuable insights into the best practices. So please join me in extending warm welcome to Mr. Pandey. Thank you, sir. I hand over the session to you.
Yeah, thank you, Shashank, right, for the warm welcome. And good morning to all the faculty members, right. I think the previous session, right, it was so interactive. I could hear, right, a lot of questions coming from you, right. It's really interesting, and it really appreciate, right, your interest in learning and understanding the cloud technologies. Yeah, so with that note, let me start with the topic today, which is the cloud computing. Let me share my screen. And then please feel free to ask any questions, right? It may not be just relevant to ADF. As Shashank mentioned, right, I have variety of experience, right, in the cloud technologies, right, handling a lot of customer engagements, right, starting from the beginning of gathering the requirements, designing and working closely with the customers, understanding their current landscape, and then providing the solutions across their various problems, right, uh, across the technologies, right, Azure, AWS, and Snowflake, right. With that, yeah, let me share my screen. Yeah, the today's topic, right? It's more on the Azure Data Factory. But even before getting into Azure Data Factory, right, as we are covering cloud computing, right? I hope I think Kevin was there in the previous session. He was going through some of these services in the Azure. Even before that, right? Just wanted to understand, your exposure to the cloud technologies, right? Do we understand why the cloud is required, and before cloud came into picture, how these businesses were running their applications and all their data, right? Hope you got some understanding on the cloud, but yeah, let me just give a brief about what is cloud, right? Before cloud, we used to have, right, even still, right, it's not that cloud has completely replaced the on-premises data center, right? Even most of these financial institutions, like larger banks in India, right, even the outside, right, the global banks, they still have their data centers hosted within their premises, right. And they started moving some of their workloads into cloud, right. So the main difference between the on-premise and the cloud is that, right, so when it's on-premise, that needs to be the entire data center, which includes all these servers, the connections, the connectivity, the firewall, right. So everything needs to be fully managed by the customer itself in their own premises, right, ensuring that it's working fine throughout the day, 24/7, right? So that their applications will run without any major challenge. But when it comes to cloud, right? Cloud is something, it's similar to the data center, on-premise data center, but it is managed by someone else, right? For example, the major cloud providers you see, right? Azure, Microsoft Azure, right? And Amazon Web Services and Google Cloud, right? Platform GCP, and there are a few more private clouds are available, right, in the market. But these are three major cloud service provider we call CSPs, right? Cloud service providers. So they manage their the data center, right? They will have their own data center wherein the customer can go and ask for a specific service, right? In the sense, suppose I am starting a new company, right? Assume, right, as a startup, and I need to have set of servers, right? I need some Unix machines, some Windows machines, and I want to host some of my applications, right? And I want to provide access to my applications across the globe, right, through internet. Just assume, right, if I need to do the setup, everything on my own, right? I need to procure, first I need to find out a site, right, where I can, get my data center, right? In the sense, even a small room, if you think of, right, keeping certain machines and start installing all my applications on that and start providing access across the globe, right? It would be really a tedious task and I need to invest a lot, right, to get all these things done. But with the invention of cloud, I just need to go to Azure or AWS or GCP. I just go and say, hey, I need these are servers, right? I just go and provision, and then within few seconds or minutes, I will have all my servers available for me with all the access provided, right? With the complete security. So that's the beauty of cloud, right? I can go and install all my application, and I don't need any upfront investment. It's more of a pay-as-you-go model, right? So you just need to pay for what you are using. So you don't need to pay lakhs of rupees for procuring the servers and installing the application starting from your OS, be it Windows or Unix, right? So that's a beauty. So that's what the cloud offers us. It's nothing but a set of servers and which helps us to install our applications and provide access across the globe through internet. And in the cloud, there are various services available in the cloud. You would have heard about it. We call it as IaaS, right? IaaS, right? Infrastructure as a service. And then we'll say PaaS, right? Platform as a service. Then SaaS, software as a service. So cloud providers offers various
So can you
offerings.
please change the slide?
Yeah, so I don't have that in the slide, right? Because
Okay.
this is more of a data factory what we are talking of, right? So that's why I didn't have that in my slide. So this slide will talk more about the data factory. But what I was telling, right, more of I'll just write it down, right? It's just for
Okay,
the
sir.
interest of people to understand what I'm talking of, right? So what I was telling about, there are three types of cloud offerings, right, by these cloud providers. So one is IaaS, right? This is called infrastructure as a service. Then next is called PaaS. This is called platform as a service. The third one is called software as a service. So based on the need, right, the customers, can choose, right? Suppose, as I mentioned, if I want to go and choose some of these services based on my requirement, I can go and choose. So what is the main difference? Say, first one, if you see infrastructure is nothing but getting all these servers, machines, right? So I will say I just need machines, right? So I need to say 10 machines. I will have my own operating system. I don't want any of your operating system, right? Windows, Unix, or whatever. I will install my own Windows operating system for which I already have some licensing. I'll use that, right? You just give me machines. So that's called it may not be exactly what I'm saying. For the understanding of you, I'm just giving you a very simple example, right? So it's kind of just getting a machine and then you go and install whatever you want, right? and they will take care only of the machines, the the connectivities, the power, right, and the internet access, all those things. Nothing getting installed within the machine, so they are not responsible, right? Next is PaaS, platform as service. They will provide you the platform, then you go and build your own application. For example, today we are going to talk about Azure Data Factory, right? Azure Data Factory is a PaaS component. In the sense, they will give you the Azure Data Factory service. You go and build your own application. In the sense, if you want to integrate data from multiple systems and then bring it into your cloud storage account and then into a SQL database, whatever you want, right? So that you can use that component or a service as a platform, and you install everything on top of that. You do your own development. SaaS is a software as service. They'll provide the complete software to you. You just use it, right? You just use it the way you want to use it, and they will charge you some fixed charge, right, for that, right? Or fixed, it could be again a pay as you go, but they will take care of everything of that particular service. So these are the three different offerings by the cloud providers. And today we are going to discuss about Azure Data Factory, which is the PaaS service. The overall Azure cloud itself we can consider as a IaaS, right, infrastructure service. Within that, we'll use Data Factory as one of the PaaS component. Clear?
So, yes.
Yeah. Moving to Data Factory, right? So in a typical, data warehouse, right? Not sure whether you got some understanding.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, Pandit. Shashank here. Can you put this in the slideshow full screen?
I'm putting. Yeah. Thanks. So in a typical data implementation, right? Data warehouse or data platform implementation, right? The main part, right, would be the ETL part. ETL in the sense you extract, transform, and load the data. So I'll show you the architecture also, right? How we put a typical architecture of data warehouse or data platform. So what Data Factory is playing a major role. That's what we are going to see today, right? So Data Factory is a cloud-based ETL and data integration service that allows us to create data-driven workflows for orchestrating data movement and transforming data at scale. So if you just read through this, right? So it's a cloud-based ETL tool. So there are a lot of on-premise ETL tools are available in the market. Say, you'd have heard about Informatica, DataStage, right? ODI, Talend, right? There are so many such are the recent ones, right? The next gen data integration tool like Medallion, Fivetran. There are a lot of tools in the market, right? Couple of them are the recent one which I mentioned, Fivetran and Medallion and all. It's a cloud-based ETL tool, but traditionally we used to, right, when I started my journey and all, right, the IT career, so we used to use Informatica as the ETL tool, right? That I have to install that Informatica in one of the server, and then I have to install a client in my own local laptop. From the client, I connect to the server and then start creating data mappings, right? That's a on-premise ETL tool. But Data Factory is a cloud-based ETL tool, right? You do not need to install any application, any client in your own machine, right? How you install Microsoft Office, for example, right? That you have to install in your own laptop, right? It's not like that, right? You just go to www.portal.azure.com, then you will be able to access the the Azure services there, and you just start adding the services what you want, right? We do not need to install all the services. So likewise, Data Factory is one of the cloud-based ETL tool which helps you to integrate data across multiple systems. Say, take an example of a banking system, right? Consider one of the major bank. They will have data in multiple systems. For us as a end consumer, we'll not realize that, right? How many applications they might be running in the background, right? Your credit card will be there in one system, but still they'll not rely with only one system. There could be a couple of applications right? Based on the type of customer, right? They'll have different applications to hold your, debit card information, to hold your credit card information. Your net banking, will be a separate application. Your mobile banking will be a separate application, right? And your, counter, right? The banking counters, right? That will be in a different application. Everything gets into consolidated and, integrated to a core banking. So likewise, there are n number of applications. At least 100 applications there will be a minimum, I'm telling, right? If you take any financial institute, there are hundreds of applications running in the background. How do they consolidate the data at the end of the day, right? For C levels, right? CEO or CTO, CFO, when they want to look at the data, right, holistically, what's happening in my organization, right? They can't go and check each and every application, right? That data needs to be consolidated. That data needs to be integrated together, right? Then only they can see a single view, right? So overall, today, okay, this many transactions I got overall across the applications, across different channels, right? I got these many transactions today. This is my overall volume, inbound volume and outbound, right? So this many credit came, this many debit, happen in overall in the bank, right? So for that, we need to bring data from all these applications into one place. You consolidate, integrate, and then do insights on top of that. So for that reason, we need to bring the data together. So Data Factory is the one of the cloud-based tool which helps us to bring data from multiple applications, right, into one place. So when it comes to Data Factory, there are few key components within the Data Factory, right? Again, I'm just giving some comparison. You may or may not aware about these ETL tools in the traditional, right? The Informatica and all. Informatica, any tool, if you go, right, you will have multiple components. Say Designer. If you take example of Informatica, you will have Informatica Designer, where you design your mapping, right? The connections, everything. And you will have workflow, right? Where you will execute that mapping. Where you will have monitor, where you monitor that, right? Similarly, any tool, if you go, so they will categorize that into various components. Say, for example, here you see pipeline, right? So pipeline is the higher grain of any component, right? Which is the end to end. It's like a workflow. Say I need to get data from system A, I need to get data from system B, then I need to connect these two systems. Then I run a report on top of that, or I load this data into a table. Then I run a report. This is sequencing, right? This sequencing of activity is will be there in the pipeline. Within the pipeline, the activity, as I said, right? System A is one of the application. System B is another application. I need to copy a data. So copy is one of my activity. Once you copy it, right? I need to look up, I need to search something there, right? Then that is one activity. So the each and every component within that is called a activity. The data sets, there's nothing but what data you're getting from your system, what data you're loading into a target, right? So any data platform will have source and target, right? What is my source? Meaning what is the data I'm pulling from my source system, source application, what data I'm loading into my target system. So that is called data sets. And link service, I'll show you all this in the pipeline, right? When I go to demo. So link service is nothing but the connection, right? I have source is one link service, target is my another link service. The data flow is another component where it will help you to move the data across the layers, right? That's called data flow. And integration runtime is nothing but a compute. Say computer CPU, you can assume like a CPU, right? So to run any jobs, right? If your computer needs to work, you should have CPU, right? If you open something and multiple applications you are opening, even phone, right? Anything, right? You have memory, right? Memory or CPU. That's the integration runtime here, right? You need to have an integration runtime to run your jobs, to run your pipeline. Okay, this is kind of simple, flow, right? How data will move, right? In a typical cloud, right? You see data sources on the left side. It could be an on-premises network, or it could be external data within our outside cloud, right? On-premises network, in the sense, as I told you, say assume a core banking, right? Say they're running, Finacle as their core banking. It's one of the application, or FlexCube as one of the core banking. They're running in their bank. Assume I will just give a banking example so that we can easily resonate to that, right? So they're running their application in a application, right? And that data gets stored into a database at the end, right? It could be Oracle database or a SQL Server database, right? And I need to pull the data from that, right? Let me take the marker. So I need to pull data from my data sources into my storage account, right? That's what you see, storage blob. That process is called ingestion process, right? I want to ingest the data, right? I need to extract from here and then ingest into my storage account, which is blob storage from any application, right? We just put only 2 here, but it could be n number of applications. As I said, it could be hundreds of applications from where we need to bring data into one place. Then we can store the data further into Azure Synapse or Azure SQL. Azure Synapse, another cloud database, right? It has various features, but for the simplicity of understanding, I'll say Azure Synapse is a database, right? And so here, Data Factory is helping us to do all this, right? Extracting from your source, ingest into a blob, and then then further do some data processing, right? Apply some transformation, apply some business logic, then bring it into the Synapse database. So once data is loaded, so there are some reporting services, right? You will learn about Power BI as well. I can quickly show you one Power BI report, how it generates automatically, just to cover end to end. So there is another component called Synapse Analysis Service. This is kind of optional, whether we can use it or we can skip it. But the data from this Synapse can be directly pulled into a Power BI report with nice look and feel, with slice and dice of your data. You can view the data in a different formats. So that's how Power BI helps us. So this end-to-end, right, of data ingestion, processing, orchestration, everything can be done through this Data Factory. So Data Factory is one of the best cloud-based ETL tool, which has connectors, 100+ connectors, right, to various systems, right? It could be a database, it could be a file, or it could be a different file format, or even it could be a shared SharePoint, right? So it has n number of connectors. Any questions so far?
So, what is the meaning of term orchestration?
Okay, orchestration is basically the simple term. If I need to say, it's a execution, right?
Okay.
The step-by-step execution.
Like orchestration means getting data, and then ingestion, then storage, then analysis.
Exactly. Right. So my first step would be, right, assume my goal is to take data from one database, right, and then load it into my cloud database. In between, I want to do some processing, right? I want to add some more extra columns. I want to remove some columns, right? So that is called a processing. So it involves 3 steps minimum: extract, process, and then store. That's called ETL, right? Extract, transform, and load. So there will be minimum of 3 steps involved in any data platform, right? So these 3 steps, I have to put them in a proper sequencing, right? When it go for a real implementation to cloud, this 3 itself will expand to 10 or 15, because there are a lot of dependencies. I need to load, say, system 1 first, then system 2 second. Then I'll have to combine these 2 before loading to system 3. I need to compare some data from system 1 and 2. Then I'll have to compare the same with the system 3 before loading to system 4. So these kind of dependencies will be there when we do a real-time implementation of the client, right? So this end-to-end the pipeline needs to be put in a proper sequencing and then gets executed based on the dependencies. That is called orchestration.
Okay.
This looks very simple, right? As I said, when you go for a very complex client where they have so many systems to integrate, the pipeline itself, right, with small icon itself, you put it won't fit in one single screen. So that much, lengthy pipelines will have to create. This whole thing is called a pipeline. When you create everything, that is called a pipeline. Okay, so I just, I just explained what is that pipeline, all right? So same thing, I just put it here. So pipeline is the logical grouping of activities that performs a unit of task. That's what I said, right? So it can have anything, right? Say if you see, for example, pipeline can contain a group of activities that ingest data from local storage to blob, then from storage to database. So these are each of them, this particular task is called activity. Okay. So the benefit of this pipeline allows you to manage the activities a set of, set instead of managing each one individually, right? We don't need to manage, each one of them individually. It's very difficult to manage them, individually. That's why we can, can be chained together to operate sequentially, or they can operate independently in parallel. We can, based on, how we need to load the data, we can put them in sequence or we can put them in parallel. What do you mean parallel? So I got 10 application, right? I need to extract, so is assume 10 tables from each application. If you go in sequence, what will happen? One by one only it will happen, right? So first source, it will take 10 tables, load it, then it will go to second source, load it. It will take time actually. Okay, just think about, the kind of work what we do, right? If you want to, go somewhere, right? You have to reach somewhere. You cannot jump directly, right? You have to go step by step. You have to start from your get ready, start from your home, get your, car, taxi, whatever, then, reach the place. You cannot do it. But there are 5 people who want to go in parallel, right? 5 people need to go. You cannot just put one by one. Okay, let me go first, then the other person. It's like a pipe. It's called pipeline, right? So you can, put them in sequence, or if you say, let us all start in parallel. Okay, I'm just giving a lemon example. Don't take it otherwise, right? So likewise, if I have 10 applications, I want all these 10 application data to be available in my target so and so time, right? Then I can put them in parallel. That's called parallel activity. Okay. Yeah. So each pipeline will run actually. So when you run a pipeline, you can go and see whether the pipeline succeeded, failed. Even you can see the history. When you run the pipeline, right? Today you loaded some data. Tomorrow some data got changed, right? When you load the data again tomorrow, the same pipeline will run again tomorrow. But it will not overwrite your previous run. Whatever you ran yesterday, you can still go and see, hey, yesterday I ran the pipeline, what happened? Okay, yesterday 10 records got loaded. Today 10 more records got loaded. That you can see, go and see that, pipeline run history in the pipeline. I'll show you. Again, these are I explained what is activity, what is data set. Data is nothing but your, the source and target data, in what format you have the data, whether the your source format as CSV. Kevin was showing you, right? How you can see the data after you upload the data to a storage account, right? That data is called a data set, right? And link service is a connection. Basically, you can see, right? Link service data factory to connect to external sources. For example, Azure Storage Link Service specify connections need to connect to a storage account. So you need to define a connection. You have to say, hey, where is my source? Where is my target? Right? That is called link service. I'll show this in the demo. Right? My account is just empty. I'll create the services. I'll show you how to create one simple pipeline to copy data from one location to another location, and how do we read the data. Okay. Yeah, these are the activities, right? So for an activity to work, you should have a link service attached to dataset, or dataset attached to a link service. So without these two, you cannot create activity. The moment you click activity, it will ask, hey, tell me what is the source, what is my target, right? Everything together is called a pipeline. Moving on. Okay, there are two more concepts called parameters and variables. This again, right? This is nothing new to cloud. This is very generic, right? You know, seen this variable. If you got exposed to any language, programming language like Basic or C, C++, Visual Basic, C#, whatever, right? Any language, if you go, there'll be a variable concept will be there, constant concept will be there, right? Same concept here also. Variables can be used inside the pipeline to store temporary values. If you want to store some values in between, right, you can use variable. Parameters, you can just define it, right, as part of the pipeline. Hey, when I run this pipeline, I should consider this. I'll give example, right? I have a pipeline, right? Kind of a reusable pipeline, meaning I can use same pipeline for different purpose. So when I run the pipeline, my development server, I will say the environment is a dev environment. Okay, then there'll be a parameter called dev, parameter called environment. I'll go and say dev when I run the pipeline development. When it goes to say testing or production, right? Then I will say it's a prod. I hope you understand what is the dev, test and prod, right? Dev, UAT and prod and all, right? Dev is nothing but the development, right? Where the developer will work, and then once they completed their development, right? The code, build everything, they will move the code to a testing environment where the users will do a testing. Say it could be a SIT, system testing, system integration testing, or UAT, user acceptance testing, or a production. Production is final, right? That means once it's there in the production means it's open for the end user, right? The customer. So nobody can go and change the code in the production. So these are the kind of parameters we can define. So when we, based on what purpose we are running the pipeline, we can define some parameter. It could be anything parameter. I just give an example of environment. Okay, this is called data orchestration, right? You're asking, right? On-premise to SQL, on-premise SQL to, blob storage to SQL data warehouse, and there'll be data movement happening, each and every step. So overall, this is called a orchestration. Okay, so this again is simple screenshot to explain, right? Same thing, what I explained, right? Nothing new. If you see copy activity, this is activity, copy activity. So there is a file which is nothing but a data set, right? This file I want to copy, right, using the link service into my Azure Data Lake storage. For this Azure Data Lake storage also, you have to say what is the link service, which data lake storage I have to say, right? Which data lake I have to load it. Then I load it into a SQL database. This is one just example of how the ADF flow would be, right? You will see only the copy activity in the pipeline. It's in turn you'll give what is my data set, what is my link service. Similarly for the target also you'll give what is my link service, what is my data set. But in the pipe it will show only this copy activity. It will not show all this unless until you go inside the copy activity. I'll show that. Okay, now if any questions here, otherwise I'll move on to the demo. I'll show you all these services in the account, Azure account. Any questions? Could be anything, very basics, right? Don't feel like very simple questions should I ask or not? Nothing like that. Okay, hope you all understand. So let me now move on, right, to data factory. So when you go to portal.azure.com, right? So I had some challenges in running, so I'll not reopen again. So portal.azure.com, if you go home page, right? This is the home. Once you log into portal.azure.com, so anyone can create your own Azure account, right? So 1 month trial
Good morning,
license
sir.
will be. Yeah, good morning, ma'am. Hello. Any questions?
Sir, every one of us have Azure account. Can we all try with you?
Yeah, you can try. Yeah, you can try along with me if you really want. I'm okay.
Yeah, Pandit sir, it's up to you. No issue. Actually,
yeah.
Actually, this is Helvin. Actually, we are doing this activity. So
fine.
If you want to just explain, you can do, and I will make them do. Anything is fine.
Yeah, fine. Maybe let's take it up. After this, right? It may take time. Then otherwise, anyway, it's recorded.
Exactly.
Hope the session is recorded, right? You can go ahead and then do it. Watch the recording and then do it also.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah, fine. So now we'll take a simple use case, right? There are some use cases given, right, by this, team, right? Say, I'll not go to this use case in detail. I'll simply, they given some case studies, right? How to solve a, problem an e-commerce industry is facing, right? It's one of the, case study, right? So what they're saying, right? E-commerce company called XYZ. How they leverage ADF to streamline their data integration process and improve their operational efficiency. Right? It's a large scale online marketplace handling millions of transactions daily across various platforms and systems. This is actually a real example, right? Take any retail company, right? Even you just take our the online retail companies, right? Applications, we have Amazon, Flipkart. Just think about how many transactions will happen on a daily basis. You just take only India also, right? Nowadays, right? A lot of transactions happening. So these transactions needs to be, collected, stored, and then should be made available for future reference also. It's not that only that time the transaction will be available. You can go and see your transactions history, order history, everything at any time, how it is happening. It's all happening because there are a lot of applications running in the backend to collect the data, transform the data, right, and then make it available for everybody, right? So that's a very ideal and meaningful use case. Any question? Somebody else asking something? Can't hear. Okay, I'll spend 2 more minutes on this slide, right? So this could be a real challenge, as I said, right? So XYZ Incorp, facing several challenges related to data integration. So what are the challenges they are facing? They have heterogeneous data sources. All data sources are not same, right? One could be a file, one could be a system generating some messages, one could be a database, right? One could be some SharePoint, they're uploading some data. So it could be different, variety of data sources, and it could be different volume, right? And velocity, right? It could be coming in daily basis. It could be coming in, monthly basis. It could be coming every 30 minutes, right? So different data volume, different velocity, and real-time insights. How do they see the real-time insight, right? Real-time in the sense immediately, quickly, right? The moment it happens, they want to see the data in the data platform, right? That's a real-time data insights. And data quality and governance. How do we clean the data, right? In case of junk data or the data is not clean, right? How do we improve the quality of data, and how do we put some governance in place? Governance is very much important, right? In the current data world, where data is shared across people, right? Take an example of our phone numbers, right? It's shared across, right? So there should be some governance in place. Security, right? I should be able to see my data only, right? Can you guys go on mute, please? Yeah, thanks. So there should be a data governance in place, in the sense the data should be secured, right? So I should not be able to see others' data, and others should not be able to see my data, right? So that data governance, data security should be in place. So these are the different various challenges, right? In this case study, the company XYZ is facing. How we can solve this, right? As we saw in the other deck, right? So we can create data pipelines, and we can integrate data from multiple systems. We can orchestrate and schedule. Orchestrate is one term and scheduling is another term, right? Scheduling is, what do you mean by scheduling, right? I want some process to run continuously, right? On a particular frequency, particular time, right? So I want, say, I know, okay, data I need to pull from system A at 10 a.m. every day, right? How will you do that? Like your alarm, you set alarm once every day, 10 a.m. to alarm you, right? So you are scheduling that. You are setting alarm means you are basically scheduling without
Anand,
knowing only. Sorry.
Sir, how about the solution to all this problem is Hadoop also? We
You
have
are
Hadoop
asking how this can be. You have Hadoop
handled with
system also.
Hadoop software. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what we say heterogeneous data sources, right?
Yes.
If we consider Hadoop is one of the source, then it's considered as a Hadoop as one of the source system. But there are places where you want to replace Hadoop with the cloud. Hadoop is still on-prem, right? On-prem big data platform, right? So it has its own challenges, right? You have to provision server. If the memory going out of range, you have to provide memory. You have to increase the hardware, the storage, everything. You have to still manually do it, right? So most of the customers are moving from Hadoop to cloud, right? They are migrating their Hadoop environment into cloud. So that comes up with its own set of process to migrate. Okay, now in this example, we'll consider Hadoop is one of the source system for us. If you have data in the Hadoop system, HDFS file location, the file is sitting, then how ADF can connect to that. So ADF is having connectors. I'll show you, how many different connectors is ADF is having, right? ADF can connect to any system and pull the data into your storage account or to SQL. Okay, yeah, these are all the components we'll use to solve all these problems, right? So one solution may not solve all the problems. Okay, say for example, data quality and governance, that is not part of ADF. ADF is one component within the Azure cloud, mainly used for data integration and data processing only, right? So you know to use various components. See, storage is not still there. Data factory cannot store anything. For storage, you have to use storage account, right? Only for integration and processing we can use. For real time, data factory cannot do. Data factory will do batch. Batch in the sense every 5 minutes you can get the data from the source system. Every 10 minutes, every day, but not real time. Immediately you cannot get the data. So there are various services available in Azure, any cloud, right? Since we are taking Azure as a cloud here, I'm just talking more of Azure, right? Any service you can use to achieve based on your problem statement. Okay, yeah, using all these components, you can solve most of the problems what that XYZ companies is facing to get this benefit out of it, right? So you can improve data agility, you can scale it and performance. Scalability is one of the important thing when it comes to cloud, right? Scaling means what? So scaling up, scaling down, scaling in and scaling out. There are various there are two ways of scaling, right? Scaling up meaning what? You have to increase the size. Okay, scaling out means you have to increase the servers. Okay, up and down meaning you can reduce. Say for example, take an example of your laptop. So you have 8 GB memory and 1 terabyte of hard disk. You are feeling my laptop is very slow. Now I need more speed. What will you do? Will increase the laptop RAM to say 16 GB, increase your storage to 2 terabyte. This is called scale up, meaning you want to increase the power of your computer. Now assume, hey, I need to run two jobs, right? With that availability, even if I increase my component configuration, still I cannot run two jobs. So I need two laptops. That is called a scale out. Okay, it's a meaning horizontally you are increasing scaling. Vertical scale means scale in, scale out, and horizontal means scale in and out. Okay, got it. So we can scale at any point in time in cloud, but in on-prem when you are doing your own, you cannot do it. You cannot immediately buy another laptop. But in cloud you can say I need one more virtual machine, right? Let me add one more virtual machine quickly in few seconds. It won't cost you anything unless until you use it. Use it for 1 hour and you finish your job and then you close that virtual machine. You don't need to pay further, just for 1 hour. You finish your job, then done. Right? Take the data out, whatever you wanted, and close the virtual machine. Over. So that's called a scalability and performance. You'll get very good fast. The movement, data copy, everything will be very fast. The real-time analytics I said, right? Real-time analytics and enhanced quality, and main thing is cost optimization. Right? You don't need to spend too much cost unless until you start using them. Okay, these are the benefits when we use this. So now let me go to there are multiple case studies. Similar case studies are available. Maybe Shashank and team will help you out to go through these case studies and do some hands-on exercise on that, right? Now let me go to Data Factory. So I want to do a simple use case, right? How to create a simple data pipeline, copying data from a storage account and to Azure SQL. Maybe Shashank and team will help you to do more hands-on with with enough time. Now let me start doing this. So in cloud, right, especially in Azure, if you want to create services, there are some prerequisites, right? You can't simply go and create service. First thing is that you have to create a resource group. Okay, meaning you are grouping all your services are called resources or components There are various terminologies, right? So you can consider as a resource. You can see here, right? Search resource, services and docs, right? That's what they say. If you search anything, it will give you that, and then you go and provision that. So I need to create one resource group first. So I'll go, resource group. See, there is one another resource already created, right? Now I'll create a new resource group. Okay, I'll say resource group name, right? So FDP UI. Okay, I'll give a resource group name like FDP UI, and I'll create in East US region. Then I'll simply, I'm not using many of these options, but you can read through what is tag. You can tag the resource to a particular department, a particular within your organization multiple departments are there, right? Within your college, if you have multiple departments, everyone want to create their own, you can tag it right with the name. Then it is easy when you are going for a billing, or when you want to manage it, or when you want to remove it. It is easy to go and find out who is using what. It's just a labeling, right? You can do it. So I'm just creating and then just do a review and create. So okay, something is still missing. Okay, let me go and see. Sorry, in the basic only something is missing. What is that? Okay, subscription. Hey, Shashank, the subscription not enabled. I am seeing subscription is disabled.
Yes, we had changed our subscription like last week.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, now it's a new one. Yeah.
Where will I see that?
I'll check whether you are added to that also. It
Which
is
one? Foundation?
Yeah, foundation. Yes. Try that.
Okay, let me try creating a resource group. Okay, I'll create a resource group. So this is the new resource group I'm giving, FDP UI December. No, okay, yeah, validation is passed, so I'm just creating it. So now I have this resource group created. So within the resource group, now I want to create my service. You can go and create from here, or you can search. Suppose I want to create a data factory. Okay, so I'll just go and create a data factory. I'll do create. So I'll use the resource group. So the resource group, what I created is FDP. I can see UI also, not sure, right? Maybe the last time I created FDP UI, and then give a name for your ADF, right? So I'll give ADF UI December. You can give any name. There are some rules, right, on the naming convention and all. You have to follow that. So I'll create ADF UI December and East US my region, and I want to use V2, right? You can leave all this default. I'll leave it for now. The other options like Git configuration, networking, and all, we can use it when you do step by step. Just go through and understand what is that, right? I am going with the the bare minimum requirement of creating the services. So this will take some time to create this service, right? So basically what it is doing, it is trying to allocate some servers, and then all this stuff we can go through and see deployment is succeeded. So data factory is created. Now I need one more service, storage account, right? I want to place a file in storage account and load the file using a copy activity into my SQL database. That's what I'm planning to do. So I'll do a storage account. So I need to create use the same resource group, because I want to put all my resource under one group, right? It's like a folder. You can assume like a folder you are creating and then putting all your files within that. Okay, storage account I'm giving. So I'll say storage FDP UI, right? Give a simple name always, right? You can use hyphen, not underscore. So you can just start creating. So I'll just review. I'm not going for anything else. Maybe let me do something on the public, on the basics name given. Advanced, I don't want anything. Networking, I'll use it for public access. There are other options: enable public access from selected virtual IP, disable public access, use private. So when you go to client environment and all, we'll usually go for disable public access and use private access, right? Because this portal azure.com can be accessed from anywhere, correct? So if somebody else somehow got to know my user ID password, right, and using their laptop, I should not allow them, right? That's why we say disable public address and use private access, or enable public access and from selected virtual networks and IP address. So when the IP address change, every laptop, every system IP address will change, right? I can restrict the access only within the IP address. So there are many things, right, here. So that you need to understand step by step. But for for the demo purpose, we'll simply go with the the minimum requirement. So I'll just review this and then create a data factory. Sorry, data storage account, right? Data factory already created, right? Now one more thing I need, I want a SQL database. So I want a Azure SQL. I want to create a Azure SQL. So create. So I want to create Azure SQL database. Okay, so it's asking for me to. Okay, first thing I need to create a server. We can use a server here. So I'll use same again, right? My same resource group. Database name I'll give SQL FTP UI. Server I'll get new server because I'm going to get new server now. I'll say SQL Server FTP UI. Okay, then I'll use the East US only. Then I'll say nothing, right? Set Microsoft. Okay. Set admin. What is this? Not required, I think. Sorry, use SQL authentication. I'll go for a SQL authentication. That's what you're asking. So I'll give a admin as the username. Or I'll give SQL admin. I'm getting new database. Okay, so nothing else. I'll give same. Okay. I'll use my name for now. Okay, I'll just make a note of my password, this one, but it's not a good practice to note down the passwords. So you should remember all your password. So username here, I'm using SQL admin. I just used my username. Okay, so otherwise it's not recommended to write the password anywhere. Okay, so I create a database, SQL server, and then I am going to use the same SQL server to create a database. Okay, so now I'll just say that I don't want to do a redundancy. So I have the database is called SQL FTPY. I'll make a note. Okay, I'm just creating a database. Create. So we created three components, right? Three services: data factory, storage account, and SQL database. So three services. Now it's a deployment is in progress. Once it is done, then you can go to home and then you can start seeing all your services, right? You can see that these are the three services we created now. While that is happening, deployment is happening, right? Let me go to data factory. We'll go inside this and then see my ADF. Okay, I'll open ADF step by step only. Just click only. Okay, launch studio. So this is the data factory, right? I'll straight away go for a activity. As I told you, when you go to any activity, it will, by default ask what is my data set, what is my link service. Then you can go and create it. You don't need to create them upfront, right? So before that, right? Let me see if my storage account is already created. Always you go to home, you will see everything. You search. If you don't find it, you simply search, right? Storage account. If you're not able to find, with the name whatever you created, right? Search here, right? It will come automatically. Storage FDP, whatever I gave, I can search, right? Storage FDP EY. This is the storage account I created, or you can go to the resource group, sort it on resource group. You can get it. Okay, there are various options. You can, here also you can group which resource group you want to see. Filters like Excel, right? You have all the filters available. So this is my storage account, right? You can, go and create containers as you saw earlier, right? You can go and create a container. I'll create a container called say FDP. Anything you can create. So I get a container. So in this container now I'll upload one file. This file only I'm going to use in my ADF. So I'll upload a file from my local. So I'll just go and browse or I have stored that file somewhere in my FTP, or let me drag and drop the file. I should have opened that file already. Okay, I'll take a customer use case, right? I'll see if I can drag and drop. This is a problem. It's not happening properly. Let me browse only. I know the location. Let me browse it. So I'll browse. I kept a couple of files for demo purpose. I'll take customer.csv as one of the file I prepared for this demo. So one file is uploaded. I can upload, say upload. And if you want, you can open this file and then do a preview, edit. You can view the file, right? You can edit or you can download. So you can see, right? This is the file I have. The first line is the heading, right? Index, customer ID, first name, last name, company name, city, all these are there. And now you can preview that also, right? But not all files can be previewed. Only these kind of files can be previewed. So you can use this preview based on the file format. If you have any machine readable format like Parquet format, ORC format, those cannot be preview. Okay, so now my file is uploaded. Now I want to create one ADF pipeline for this, right? I'll go to Data Factory. Data Factory, this is a Data Factory screen, right? You will have multiple options here. Say home, author, monitor, manage, and the learning center. So author is a place where it will give you workspace for you to develop your pipeline. Monitor is for monitoring that the run and how many times you're running the pipeline. All right, it's for monitoring, and manage is for managing in the sense you can create your link services, integration runtime, all those things in the manage. I will go to author. Under author, I click plus. I want to get a pipeline. Say pipeline. Now I'll give a pipeline, right? You can give any name, right? I'm just giving my pipeline one as a name, right? Then come here, close this here. Now what I want to do, I'll go for simple use case only now, right? I'll copy that file from the storage account into my SQL database, right? SQL database we created, remember, right? You can go and see my SQL database. Let's see whether you are able to connect to the SQL database, right? So I have a SQL database created. What is the name I've given? SQL FDP EY. This is the database. I'm going to the database, not to the server. Server, in one server, you can have n number of database created. Okay, so I'll go to the SQL database and see whether I'm able to, log into my SQL database. What is that? Trying to see, no database found. Okay, this is server SQL ADP UI. Oh, we didn't create database, is it? I think we get database, right? Go server SQL FTP UI. I think this is the one. Yeah, that was under different resource group, right? Yeah, this is I believe this is my database. I still don't see query editor, right? Yeah. What password we give, like? Okay, so there is a error. It's giving like, public access is not enabled, right? So we'll have to change that networking. I'll tell you. I should go to my. There is the networking here. Okay, let me. So you'll be having these kind of challenges when you create the first time. So I'll take this. I'll just go and change that networking option where I'll have to say this is disabled. I'll say I'll add my current IP address. Let me try. I'll tell you what is the issue. So by default, the SQL will deny any private access because I'm opening this portal from my laptop, right? Then my IP address should be added here. So that's what I'm doing, right? The networking, I'm going and add your client IP, right? Now let me go to the SQL which we created and then go to query editor and then use my password. Okay, this is still not allowed. Manage. Okay, hello list. Here itself we can see that option added. Okay, yeah, it's connected, right? So if you see here, right, I don't have any tables created. Nothing is there. No table, no view, no store procedure, right? It's a system generated one, but no table is there. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy that file what we uploaded into the storage account, right? I'm going to copy the file into the SQL database. So there is an activity called copy activity. You just search copy data. You drag this into the workspace. Now you can minimize all these things, clicking this left arrow, right? Now you have the copy activity. If once you click the copy activity, you see options, general, where you can give the name, right? Description. You can, best practice always, right? You can, give a, this is a copy activity, right? You can use some name for this name, right? Copy, customer, data, right? You can have a description, right? You can say, right, this pipeline used to copy data from CSV file to SQL table. Something like that. You can give a proper description so that anyone will be able to easily understand. A lot of options are there, retry, all those, right? That you can learn it through the documentation. So in the interest of time, I'm just moving on, right? Copy data, you'll see, right? Source and sync. This is mandatory. You can see that there is a one symbol here, right? That means this is mandatory. All the star is mandatory. So click source. So source, what it requires? Data set. If you see data set, nothing is there because we have not created any data set. So here, once you create, you can use many times, right? So now I'm going to create a new data set. New. This is what the connections I was telling, right? I told about there are so many connectors available, right? In ADF, it could be a Amazon Marketplace, RDS, Amazon SQL Server, right? S3, everything. There are many, right? See. These are the different types of data you can ingest, right, into Azure using the ADF. It's having connectors for almost all the applications. They keep on covering. Zoho also they covered, right? There are plenty of connectors are available. So you just need to choose the connector or you just search it here. Suppose I have CSV, right? So file delimited is that it says, okay, I have it in my storage account, right? So data is there in our blob storage. So I'll have to just give blob storage. So continue. Then what is the file format I have? I have delimited format, CSV format. So whatever format you have, Excel, CSV, Avro, JSON, ORC, you can give the format. I have it in CSV format. So I gave us a CSV. You can give a name for that, CSV, data set, something can give. Then I'll have to create link service. Link service is a connection to your storage account. Assume storage account is hard disk sitting in some other laptop, just for assumption. Then we need to establish a connectivity to that, right? It won't happen automatically. You have to tell where is my storage account is sitting, right? Now go and say new. So now you have to come and say what is my storage account is, right? So you can give a name for this. I'm just leaving it as is, as a storage blob storage. Then you just come and select here, which is your subscription and what is your storage account. So I created a storage account called storage FTP EY. This is my storage account I created, right? Then you say create. So it is creating a storage account link service. It is creating a connection to your storage account. Then you say which container. So you can browse. Where is my file? My file is there, my FTP. You can create, separate container for, separate data set for each file or each type of file. Then you can pass the file name. When you are running the pipe, you can say, hey, this is my pipeline file name. But here I'm giving that file name also, right? I'll just, browse. It's like your Explorer only. Then I want to load customer.csv. So I gave both. Say OK. So now my data set, my link service, both are done. Correct? If you open and see, you can find out. If you open and see, my data set is CSV, and my link service is the Azure Blob Storage account. This CSV is sitting in my storage account. That's a link service and data set. Going back to the pipeline. Similarly, I have to give sync. Right now, source is fine. Source parameter we given. Now sync. Sync is your target. Target also we don't have, because we want to use SQL as my target, right? SQL we didn't create yet. So I'm going to create a SQL data set. So I'm going to say SQL. Which SQL I have? Azure SQL, right? Azure SQL database. Continue. I'll just give a SQL data set. Similarly, link service is not there. I'm creating a link service. I'll leave it as is. Similarly, just select subscription, server name, SQL EDP. No, I have given SQL Server EDP EY, right? I think it's the bottom. SQL Server FDP EY. This is the one I have created. Then till I have the database name listed. SQL FTP EY is my database, and I'll say SQL authentication. SQL admin is my username. I'll just give my password. But in a real-time implementation, you have to use Azure Key Vault. Azure Key Vault is another service where you can, secure your credentials, because this password is right. We have given the password here, and we are hard coding the password. So what tomorrow your password is changing, and you are using this password in 10 different places, right? And then you have to go and change the password in all the places, right? Assume your user email ID, you log in from your laptop, mobile, tab, many places, right? And tomorrow you are changing your password. You have to go and change all the 3 places, right? Whenever you log into a laptop, it'll ask you, send me a new, tell me your new password. Mobile will ask, tab will ask, and anybody can crack the password also. But this Azure Key Vault is the secure place you can go and put your password. Even tomorrow, if you're changing your password, you just need to go and change in the Key Vault and just refer the Key Vault here. It's like a variable. Okay, so now we are just giving directly, and then you can do a test connection anytime, right? You can test your connection before creating it. It says failed. Let's see why it failed. Please connect to a server for further support. Database check the link service, configure guide, make sure. Same thing, this IP address, is not requested. I think I'm not giving the right server every time. SQL server, which one I created? UI or UI? I think this is the one I created, given correct only. SQL FTP.
Yeah, SQL FTP. Yeah, sir, that is only.
Correct only, right? SQL Server FTP UI.
Yeah,
SQL Server
yeah, sir,
FTP
yes.
UI.
Yes, sir.
SQL Server FTP. Yeah. I don't know. It's giving error. Okay, let me just add the client IP. I think the client IP only it's coming every time error.
I think we need to add public endpoint.
Yeah, I'll just go and change that to public endpoint only. Networking. So it has only, it's keep changing. So by default area, it used to be, public, allow public also, public network access, right? Now it's completely, keeping only selected networks. So private access connectivity, default use direct access, right? Yeah. Let's try with this once again. Okay, yeah, we need to put this actually. This is the easiest one, right? Allow Azure services and resources to access the server, right? We want the Azure services to access without any of these issues. So if you enable this, I think, right, all the Azure services by default can access, because we are accessing this from the Azure only, right? Not from outside. So I enable that. Now do a test connection. So now this is successful. Okay. So within Azure, we are putting exception not to, put any firewall rules. So now we have created the link service for the SQL, and I want to say table. So table is anyway I have not created, right? So I'm just saying okay. So now if you see sync is created, but I don't have any table created. But I am going to tell the copy activity to create the table automatically, right? So you can see option called auto create table. In the copy activity, the sync only, you have write behavior, insert, upsert, store procedure. There are three options. Then I'll say, right, auto create table. Then this will automatically create the table. Okay. Now let me, run the pipeline. Any doubt? So we have created a copy activity. We're given a source as the CSV, data set and link service created. Sync as my SQL database. Right. So again, we created a data set and link services. And right behavior giving is insert. I'll come to this upset, right? And the next we'll do one more run right immediately after this. Then I'll show you. Now I'm going to run this pipeline. I'll say debug. You can debug your pipeline. You can test your pipeline using the debug option. I'm going to say debug. Table is required for copy activity. Okay. I have to give a table name. I said table auto create table, but I have to give a table name for that, right? So let me, where is that? Auto create table, right, behavior. Let me open the data set. Then I'll say table is not there. I'll say table name is customer. Okay. And I'll go to that activity. It will give you all the errors. If you see something is not working, you will get an error, immediately saying what is the error. So you see that copy activity is running, right? It says queued now. It will get into queue and then start running. It says in progress. It succeeded. If you come here, there is an input. You can click this and see what is the input my copy activity. To my copy activity, the source was a delimited text source coming from blob storage, right? And then you can see, right, the sync is my Azure SQL sync, right? Behavior is insert, whatever the parameters we gave, right? Same thing only will come. Say auto create table, everything is coming, right? Then you go to the output. There is output. Go to the output. Output, see data read this many size, that 17 KB or something. Data written 31 KB. Files read 1, rows read 100, rows copied 100. Copy duration 11 seconds. It will give you all details. Okay, so the developers will use all these details when they're writing the pipeline, end-to-end pipelines. Then you have these details. Click here. You will see data read 17 KB, data written 31 KB. When it's converting into a table format, the size is changing, but not the data. Rows read 100, rows written 100. It took how much it took? 11 seconds it took to do the copy activity. Right now you go to your database. Here we didn't have any table. Now refresh it. You'll see a table now. See customer. Right? You got a table. And you can say it's the top 1000 rows here itself. Right? It will give a query for you. Run the query. It will give you that data. Right? Whatever data we got. Right? There. Or if you have any client tool, you can use those client tools to see the data. From here. I'm just trying to scroll this up. I don't see a scroll. We usually use any some client tools to connect to this. So you actually have data here. If you see, right, the data is there. The 100 rows are there. Say here, I'll take one example now, right? I'll say where index equal to. I'll take one. I want to show one example. Run this. I'll take only one. What is that? What happened? Okay, index is not. Sorry. Okay, I'll take customer ID. The index is this one, right? Auto created one.
परवा कोणी तरी ग्रुप नव्हता की आम्हाला एमएस करायचं नाही, आम्ही पेपर पब्लिश करणार नाही. त्याच्यावर सरांनी सांगितलं एमएस साठी पेपर पब्लिश नाही करायचं, बी साठी करायचं. एमएस
Can you please go on mute?
बी करायचं
Can you please?
पेपर करू. ओके.
Okay,
Yeah, I
I'll
have
take.
muted.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, I'll take this person company only. So if you want, if you see that column names all right, it's coming all in the first name, last name with the space and all right. So if you really want to auto create this, right, then you'll have to give a proper names without space and all in the file. Or if you already create a table, then it won't create any problem, right? For me now it says right all first name, last name, all coming with the space, right? Now I'm going to use this company column so that I can easily query company equal to. I'll give this value. So I have one record with this condition, right? Now what I'm thinking, I'm just going to change that content, right, of this company, right? So company's say last name says Faxter, right? This is the last name, right? I'll just keep this name for reference. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to change this content, right? Changing this last name to something else. Okay, let me go here to my storage account. Where is my storage account? I don't have it here, so let me go to storage account. The file, whatever we uploaded, I'm just going to edit that first record. Okay. And I'm going to show how the ADF will handle the, the copy activity, right? The upset. How it upset is nothing but update or insert. Okay. So if you see here, right, we have 100 records, right? So the first record, their company says something where it is, the last name was Faxter, right? I'm just putting something called John, for example. Okay, I updated that to John. My last name updated to John. And similarly, I'll create one more new record also. This one, I'll take it. I'll take it and then I'll insert one new record here itself. Just to show you both how both insert and update is happening. Right, company, I'll just put it to, this was the company name, right? 2, 3. Okay, Ramusan Group 1, 2, 3 as a company name. I'm going to use company as the my key. Okay, I'll put BC XYZ as the first name, last name. Okay, so I edited one record. Similarly, I inserted a new record. So I'll save this. You can save it outside, your CSV file, then upload, into data storage account directly. Now in my pipeline, what I will do, I'm going to say upset. Instead of insert, I'm going to say upset. Okay, and then I'll say what is the column to up, right? I'll say company is my column name. I think it should give in the drop down as a company. See, company is the column. Based on company, I'll have to do insert update. If the same company exists, the record will be updated. If the same company is not there in my table, it will insert. So we create a new table, a new company called that Ramusan Group 1, 2, 3, 4. That is a new record. Same time updating the name in the previous record, right? That last name. So now I'll run this, validate this, and then run the pipeline again. You got it, right? What I'm saying. So here we have this, we'll have 2 queries. I'll take 2 queries. So now I don't have anything called 1, 2, 3. Nothing is there. But at the same time, for the first record, I have the last name as Faxter, which I changed to now John. Let's see whether it's coming or not. So I'm running the pipeline. Your pipeline may sometimes fail, so don't worry, right? When you see failures only, you can learn many things, because you'll come to know the issues, right? What kind of issues when somebody else is facing, you'll be able to help them out as well, right? Just don't worry if the pipeline is failing, and then you can easily correct it, right? If you go and see that, the details now. See here, rows read 101, rows written 101, because we kept the same 101 records, right? We didn't remove the records because only 2 records got changed, but we didn't remove. So what will happen? All other records will get updated. Only the 1 record will be inserted. So if you go and see in this table now, without any filter. Okay, let's first see for this Ramusan Group. See, you have last name updated, changed, and we inserted a new record also. See, this new record also inserted with the first name as ABC, last name as XYZ. Okay, so this is how ADF helps you to bring data. Now we put only one file. You can have put hundreds of files. Run all of, put all of them, load all of them. Here you come and do joins. Say table 1 dot name equal table 2 dot name, or table 1 dot department equal to table 2 dot department. When you see a normalized structure, right, in any typical transaction database, you will see a number of tables, and each table is linked to other table. So based on that relationship, you can start writing your queries. Here in the SQL database. Any questions so far? Hope you all able to understand. You can go through this recording and then look at the steps, right, what we followed. But this is a very simple use case, as I mentioned, right, with the limited time. But you can explore more based on this exercise.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir.
Fine. If there is no other question, I'll spend a few more minutes just to show Power BI. I think Power BI also supposed to cover, but I don't have so much details on Power BI. I'll just spend only 2 minutes how Power BI will help you to quickly, generate insights out of that. Okay. Yeah. Let me go to Power BI if you don't anything. So Power BI also, I think you should be able to access. Not sure with your current account what you got, right? You can go to app.powerbi.com. You can connect to any existing you can connect to a database and pull data, or you can just do a copy paste. I'm just going to some copy paste of data and show you, right? Once you go there, click new report, and then you can say paste or manually enter data, right? I'm just going to paste the data, whatever data we are discussing now, right? This customer data, I'm going to simply paste this, right? You can copy paste from your notebook or from here also. I'll use this this option to paste it. You can simply say use first row as header. I'm just pasting it. Okay, so I pasted this data, and Power BI is having a lot of features, right? It says say auto create table or create a blank report. I'm going to say auto create report. Based on this data, now see what kind of report is generating. So instead of pasting the data, you can connect to that table, right, in the SQL, right, what we created. So from there, you can start generating the report out of that. See, it reports ready. See, it generates sum of index by year month, right? Count of country, right? How many countries are there in each year? Some data. Okay, so this may not give you the meaningful, right? But we can generate out of that. It will give you sample reports, right, based on the data available with a quick summary, right? But we ourselves can start creating. So when I created earlier, right, same data used, it creates some differently, right? See here, right? It created different report for me. Same data, no difference. I just said that create and then use it. Sum of index by city. How many each city, how many indexes are there? This we can change it, right? If you each graph, right, you can click and then change that data, what data you want to use it, or you can just say show data table. It will give you the data also in the table. See, this is the data we got it, or you can this you can change that chart. You can say, right, I want say a bar chart. This is the clustered bar chart, right? You can change it the way you want it to see, and you can say, right, I want suppose city in my x-axis, right, and the y-axis I want to see how many customers are there in each city. Since each record having its own city, that's why we are seeing everything in separate. Otherwise, if you say only few cities are available in the data, then for each city it will give you how many customers are there in each city. But here each city is, I think, different. So that's why it's giving all. So likewise, you can start creating nice reports, dashboards using Power BI. So you can connect to that table also, right? There are options. Maybe the team will help you out, right? You can directly connect to the database and then pull the data, so that as and when the data gets changed, right, updated in your SQL table, this report also will get changed. Hope it helps you to get some understanding on data factory and how you create pipelines quickly to bring data from any source, right, into Azure SQL. Not stopping there, right? You can move it to anywhere, not only to Azure SQL. Fine. Any other question before I'm done? Anything else, Shashank, to be covered?
Yeah, Shashank is not there. Thank you, Pandinarayan. And I request faculties, if you have any doubts, you can ask now. Anything related to industry or anything. Yeah, if there is no doubts, Shashodhan, yeah.
Sir, I have one doubt. Sir.
Yeah.
Pandit sir. Pandit sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, sir, if you well versed with Microsoft Azure and Power BI, is it easy to get into the IT?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well versed with Azure, right? Azure is hot in the market now, right? And
Okay.
only Power BI will not help you. Let me tell you, right? Openly, right? Only Power BI will not help, but you should have good, experience, right? Understanding on, this Azure Data Factory, Databricks, right? If you want to do some scripting, right? As I said, Data Factory will not cover all scenarios, right? Data Factory will help you to integrate data up to some extent, right? Complex data transformations, you need to learn Databricks, right? Azure Databricks, which is kind of a more of Python based coding, right? If you're good in Python and Spark, that will help you to write complex coding in Databricks. So with Azure Data Factory and some other components, right? Storage, Key Vault, and Databricks, yes, definitely it will help you to move into IT. Yeah.
Sure, sir. I'm good in Python, so asked.
Okay, then it's good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Fine, sir. Fine. Thank
Sir,
you.
there
Thank
is
you very
one
much.
question.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sir, generally when we are trying to build data pipelines that have some machine learning model in between there, so the major challenge is that model gets obsolete over time because it has been trained on some old data. So
Correct,
how
yeah.
can we achieve such that the model keeps on updating itself as new data comes into the our
We
system?
should have a pipeline created, right, to retrain the model, right? So the model needs to be retrained with the latest data. So when we create that, so when we create these pipelines, right, especially the model inference pipeline, so whatever the data you are getting, right, in real time, so the same data should be used for retraining the model as well. So that's how we built, right, when we built applications for customer. So we keep sending the data for retraining purpose also. So we should, create a pipeline such a way that, right, the model gets retrained with the latest data, so that won't get obsolete.
Okay, is there any cloud solution for filtering that data? Like all the data is not always accurate for training the model. So is there any online tool, cloud tool, something that filters that data first?
No tools actually, right? You should write some, Python code only, right? Suppose if you're using Databricks ML, right, for the model build, train, and model inference, then you should have some Databricks pipelines, Python, Spark based pipeline, which will first, filter the data. See, any model, right? ML model needs some data pre-processing, right? You can't simply, push the data, what are you getting in, right? The incoming data needs to be cleansed, right, and pre-processed with some additional entities, attributes required. Then you use that as the input to your model, correct? So the same input, whenever you are giving to model, same input should be used for retraining the model as well. So that's how that the end-to-end pipeline will build it, right? Model inference will happen, the model output will be sent back to the the invoking application. At the same time, that input plus output will be used for model retraining, and output will be used for model monitoring, right? If you want to monitor, right, how accurately your model is providing the prediction, right? Over a period of time, it will give you close to actual value, right? But initially it may not give you the accurate value. So to monitor that, you can use that output data for the model monitoring. You can store the data in a blob storage or SQL database, and you can create a report like this, right? Out of Power BI, you can keep on monitoring how accurately my model is predicting the value, that we can compare with the actual. Based on that, you can plan for retraining the model.
Okay, understood.
Is the service chargeable which we
Thank
use
you.
now?
Yeah. What was the question? Sorry, I couldn't hear
The
properly.
service which we use now is chargeable, whether it will be deducted, it will be the credential, billing will be.
Yeah, billing will get generate. I think for the first month it will be free of cost, right? So you have to be very cautious. Once that first month the trial is over, you should go and see any services running, right? You have to go and stop the services, or better you delete the services. Otherwise, billing will be generated. Not much, but still, right? There will be some billing generated. So immediately after a month, you go and disable the account or delete the services, the resource group itself. But it will ask you to provide, I think, all the credit card information when you create the free trial account also. But keep in mind that after a month, you go and delete the resource group, then nothing will be charged. Yeah, any other questions? before we close the call?
So I hope there is no question. And Pandi, this is Saswatan from EduNet Foundation. I'm just coordinating this workshop, but otherwise our trainers leading the training session along with the support of Shashank, just for your information. But yeah, thank you so much, Pandi Narayanan, for this wonderful session. It was so engaging, and it's always good to see the people from the academia or from the education institution getting a lot of perspective from the organization, from the corporate, because there is a huge gap, no, industry as well as the academia. And this always good to say people are getting a lot of insight from you. So thank you so much for this session. But I request Pandi to stay back for 2 minutes. I basically want to hear from the participants about the feedback. How is the session from Pandi Narayanan? And you can also share your feedback. You can also unmute. You can also say, in case if you feel like any suggestion needs to be given, please feel free to give, because Pandi Narayanan sir used to give us a lot of session in the upcoming batches also. So that suggestion also will be helpful for him. So there are a lot of messages that are coming, Pandi Narayanan, in the chat box saying it is an awesome session, great session. But is there anybody who can unmute and say, how was the session? And is there any feedback or suggestion? I kindly request 1 or 2 participants, not a compulsion, but request.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, it was very wonderful session, and we got very good knowledge about Microsoft Azure, as well as we got to know Power BI, and we got to know how to integrate Power BI with the Microsoft Azure and all. So we learned something new, because we were not knowing much about Microsoft Azure, and we actually myself I used to do the things with the Google Cloud and Amazon Web Services. I was not much aware about the Microsoft Azure. So today in this session, I was going to know. I got to know about Azure as well as Power BI. This is somewhat something new added to my knowledge. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Pandi sir, and it's a wonderful session, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your feedback. Let me know, right, if anything is changed, right, as Saswatan mentioned, right, so that we can make some changes to the way how we conduct these sessions, right? Because as we are in the industry, right, EduNet will have, will understand the minds of you guys, right, and then put their curriculum accordingly. But we are in the industry, and we look at more of from a customer perspective, right, what kind of challenges customers are facing, and accordingly we are trying to connect the dots, as you mentioned, right, between these education institutes and the industry, right? I also faced, right, when I studied and all, right, it was very difficult to connect, right? What we study and what we really come and work used to be completely different, right? So this will be good connect, having both the teams connecting to you, and then giving the background on the the basics, fundamentals, and then bringing these experts from the industry, right, to walk you through some of these challenges what the customers are facing. That will really help you, and then you can go and help your students as well.
Yeah, exactly, sir. Exactly what you said is exactly 100% true, sir.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you so much, participant, and thank you so much, Pandi Narayanan, for taking your time and spending your time to give a lot of insight to almost 500 participants. It's going imagine this 500 participant going to take this information to almost to all the students. So it is going to be multiple in many other ways. So thank you so much for your time and for your insight. And but yeah, now. So now we are going to have a small break. I hope Elvin, we will be having a break, right? Or do we have a session?
Yes, we'll give it 10 minutes break.
Yeah. So, but I need two support from the participant. One is we are going to circulate the feedback form just to understand or get your feedback about this industry expert talk. So just give me a minute. I'll share the Google link here. Yeah.
Sashwatan sir, I want to share something.
Yes, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
Sir, I have attended many of this such type of FDPs, but this was the first time when from the very beginning we are having the hands-on sessions. Really, it was so informative and so cool. All the person who are giving the lecture or practical on hands, they are really so calm and cool that the bandwidth of them and we as a faculty, they all are matching. There is no gap. Really, it was very awesome. The first time I have realized the FDP of such a kind. Really, it was great. Thank you so much, sir, for arranging such type of FDPs, and I hope in the coming session you will do the same. Really, it was very awesome, very nice. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So Pandit Narayanan, I think people are also expecting
Thanks.
more such,
Yeah.
more such
Great. No,
sessions.
I know, great, right? It's a great, team, right? Even, I felt today, right? So happy. People are right, talking, right? Many sessions I've seen in the past also, right? People used to be very quiet, even after conducting sessions, but, the team is sharing their, open feedback. It's really good. I'm also looking forward to conduct more sessions, right, in the future. Any team or any college, I'm open, right? Welcome your feedback and, happy learning, right? Keep learning, right? Because this will really help you personally as well as
hello.
professionally.
Continue,
Go
sir.
ahead. Yes.
Yeah, like
Sir,
yes,
actually,
sir, this is
where you are working actually, sir? In Bangalore or where, sir? Location, work location?
I mean,
Yours?
Bangalore.
Bangalore, UI, sir?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
No problem, sir.
yeah. Hello, sir. This is Dr. Subhash.
Yeah, I'll
Like,
take this as last feedback. Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
You.
Like,
It's a very great experience listening to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
actually, being professionals, we are not finding time to sit this 5 days and all and listening to the lectures, but it's very helpful and you are very patient, very patient enough to explain things in a very good way, and from basics we are understanding, and even the hands-on session that we had yesterday by Helvin sir also very great. Is helping us. It's helping us a lot in our career development. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll take last feedback from Subhash sir, because like we're also running out of time. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Like it's like a good session, sir. Like we need to know how these pipelines are running. We just understand the concepts clearly, and everything is good. But we are running because of running out of time. We observe the session. We need to have a good practice on the session. That is what we need to do. At the same time, like bringing from pipeline to analytics dashboard is really a good informative session for everyone. And at the same time, sir, like can you have the similar kind of sessions to the colleges also directly if we connect to the through either from the EduNet or from any other means, because the sessions like this can be really helpful for the students who are going for the interviews, having a professional study and having a professional knowledge on these cloud technologies. It will be really helpful because these sessions will be more advantageous to the final year students who are into the projects also. So if we have these kind of sessions to the students directly, so it will be more helpful, because anyway we will teach the students, but bringing the industry person to where they can interact directly with the students and bringing the new ideas like what they are doing in the industry and sharing the same with the students, it will be really awesome for everyone. So how it can be possible?
Yes, sir. I'm not sure whether it's possible immediately, but we can also check with the team, the UI team, because like Pandit Narayanan sir also needs to get a permission from his manager. There are a lot of formalities also needs to be followed. But also we also have like a lot of formalities to be followed. We need to have a sign an MOU with the colleges, etc., etc. But sir, definitely I can hear you, and your request is like really valid. Like connecting the students with the industry people is actually the need of an hour. The people needs to be connected with the industry to understand the actual reality. So definitely, sir, we can try how to collaborate in the future, but immediately it's not possible, but definitely we can explore the possibilities, sir. But Pandit Narayanan, you want to add anything on this?
Yes, sir. I think you called out it clearly. But I think we used to conduct some sessions. I'm not sure, right? These virtual sessions I have seen right in the past also, right? Even some in-person sessions also, right? Especially in Bangalore, I found, right? But I couldn't make it due to some other priorities. But we can definitely do. We can work it out together, right? With the Ripple teams here in UI along with the EduNet. I'm happy to be there, right? Any sessions if you are really looking for. I'm really ready to help.
Can you share your details so that at some point of time
Sir, could you please share your email?
Sir, we will share it with because we also need to check with their management also before we share the details. Because like again, there is a lot of formalities we need to follow, sir. But sir, I can understand. Definitely, I'll also connect offline with Pandi Narayanan sir as well as the team, and then I can also share the details through WhatsApp group. I hope like all of you are part of our WhatsApp group, so I can also connect with. I mean, I can also share the details through the WhatsApp group. But
Yes,
now I
yes,
think
sir, yes,
it's
sir.
time to it's time
Thank
to
you, sir.
take
Thank
a
you. Thank you very much,
yeah.
sir. Thank you, sir.
It's
Thank
time to take
Thank
break.
you, everyone. Yeah, thanks everyone
Thank you
for
so
your
much, sir.
participation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and learning spirit. Thank you. Bye.
So I think
Thank you, sir. Thank
Elvin
you,
has
sir.
already.
Thank you, Pandit
Yeah.
Narayan, sir.
Thank you so much.
Bye, bye,
Elvin
sir.
has
Have a
already
great day,
started
sir.
the
Thank you,
Elvin has
Sachin.
already started the tea break. But now I kindly request use this tea break to do two things. One is like just a minute. Yeah. So there are two forms which I have circulated in the chat box. One is like we want to understand your convenient time to attend the Q&A session. Yesterday we started this Q&A session and we felt like a lot of people are clarifying the doubts. It is very, very helpful for them. So we will be continuing this Q&A session for next 3 more days also. But just to fill this form to understand what is the convenient time. Whoever is like filling the more convenient time, we will stick to that convenient time, and we will also let you know let you know the timing for today's Q&A session. And I've also circulated one more form, which is like feedback form for this guest session or the expert talk. We are not asking for the feedback for the entire 3 days of session, but we are asking only for the feedback only for the particular 1.5 hour session. So I kindly request all the participants to fill both the feedback form. Maybe again, I can also share the feedback form here. You can take it from the chat box. So with this, now we can take a break, and please join back in 10 minutes. We will start continuing the session. So already I have mentioned the convenient time feedback form here. I mean convenient time Google form here, and this is the feedback form. Again, feedback form only for the guest talk. I mean the expert talk. So with this, thank you so much. Have a good cup of tea or coffee. Have a bio break, and we can come back. Thank you so much for submitting the form, Gunturu Venkateshwaralu sir. Thank you so much for that, and take a break. We can meet after 10 minutes. And Helvin, you can put that timer in the screen. Thank you all.
Yes, Ambuja, Kurukshetra, एक ही दिन मुझे कॉल कर दिया कह रही सर आप कहाँ हो घर पे हूँ
किसने कॉल कर दिया? किसने?
प्रियंका मैम
अच्छा,
हाँ
वो किसी और को कर रही होंगी।
किसी और को कर रही थी
हाँ।
So welcome back all. So if anybody is not marked your attendance yet in the LMS, kindly take a few seconds and go mark your attendance there. And also please submit the feedback in the link Shashudan provided. Yeah. So the feedback is not for our entire FTP. Okay, this feedback is especially for the expert talk we had from Pandinarayan sir. I can feel that. Yeah, I can see that all of you enjoyed that expert session, and we are happy to know that. So yeah, I also know that you have concerns, like you couldn't follow it. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for submitting feedback. So all of you, please take 2 minutes and you can submit the feedback. And also we have posted one more form for the Q&A session. Okay, so that also you can choose. So if at all you are not able to log in at 2 o'clock, yesterday we connected from 2 to 2:45. So if you want to get it another convenient time, you can choose that. So we will go with majorities take. Okay, yeah. I'll just share my screen. Give me a second. So why we started this Ask Me Anything session is just to save our time. Okay, for these sessions. Okay. So yeah, while I was following our expert talk, I thought, yeah, I don't have to really discuss anything. So I'm very much thankful to Panditharan sir because he had given a very good clarity on what is Azure Data Factory. So I'll just revise it, like summarize in one line. Okay, we commonly call it ETL, extra transform load. Okay, gathering data from multiple sources and performing operations on it and loading it to another type of source. So here I showed you practically there are so many different types of data sources supported in Azure, and we can do activity. Okay, so we are also going to do the same activity, but little different. Okay, so what activity we are going to do is known as copy activity.
Sir, voice is not audible, sir.
Can you confirm? Somebody?
It's audible, sir. It's audible. It's clearly audible. Please check your internet connection because we are able to hear Alvin clearly.
Yeah, thank you, Shashank, for the confirmation. Yeah, so those who haven't marked your attendance, please take 1 minute and mark it. So that is a reminder from Shashu then. Yeah. So copy activity, what we saw there, he took from the blob storage from our storage account and converted into a SQL. Okay, so SQL. So that is we saw in the expert session. Okay, so we'll also do copy activity, but we'll do such a way we'll take from blob storage and copy to blob storage. Okay, so what is that? Okay, so that means we'll copy from one container and we are going to copy to another container. So basically the source are from the same type only, both the blob storage only. So from container 1 to container 2. Okay, so that is what we are going to do. So the same steps are very much similar. Apparently, I mean, in fact, it is more easy compared to the SQL one. But if you know this one, if you know the steps, okay, you can do for the SQL one also. So I will give you time to try it out yourself. Okay. So you might have an overall idea, but I will just explain it a little further so we can do it. So I'm going little fast. Okay. I think I can go little fast because we already have an idea what is happening there. Yeah. So this is what we are going to do now. Copy activity. Okay. So what I want you to do. Okay. I will write the steps. First, go to your storage account. We all have a storage account. If you don't have, create one, and please stick to FTP 10. Okay. I saw many other resource groups. Okay, but it may get deleted in between. So don't take the risk. Go to FTP 10 and create a storage account if you don't have. Okay. Go to storage account. Okay. So this is the first step. Okay. Create two containers. Create two containers. So in the morning, we created a test container, right? So now we are going to create two containers. Okay. Source and sink. You must have seen this terminology in that last session. Sink in the sense destination. Okay, you can use anything. Basically in the sense destination. Okay, like input and output. Source is like from where the input come. Sink is to where the output goes. Okay, so let's do this first step. Okay, so I'll also go to my storage account and I'll also create two containers. Okay, any doubts you can ask. Okay, no issues. So let me go to the storage account. Yeah. So let me, okay, if once you if you are already created your storage account, how do you find it? I told you can go to storage accounts and you can search for your storage account. Okay, this is why I told you to name it with your name. Okay, I can see two are there. Okay, I think this is not created by me. The first one is created by me. This is somebody else created. Use your own name, sir, whenever you're creating. Okay, yeah. This is my storage account. If I open that, okay, I hope you remember our overview. Go to container. Yeah, so morning I created a test container. See, that is there. Okay, so I want you to create two containers, source and sink. Okay, create two containers. Go to your storage account. If you don't have it or if it is deleted, create new one under the FTP 10 resource group. Okay, if you try to access your storage container and it is telling like not accessible, error message, that means it got deleted. Okay, so you have to create one more. Okay, yeah, so create two containers. I'll create source container. Okay, so you can name it anything. Why we are naming it like source and sink? Just for clarity, to avoid confusion when we are doing the activity. So we are going to ADF and going to do activity. Okay, so that time to avoid confusion, we are doing this. Okay, source container, create one more container, sink container. Okay, you can name it sink or destination, output, anything, no issue. I'm going with the terminology sink. Okay, SINK, sink. Okay, success. And now to the source, you need to upload a file. Okay, you have two options. You can either use CSV or Excel for now, but I would suggest CSV. Why? You must have already realized in the morning, Excel was not showing preview, and editing also not really convenient in Excel. So CSV means it's very much convenient. So I strongly suggest you to upload a CSV file in the source. Okay. Same like in the previous section, how Sarah has shown. Okay. So I'll upload that employee file itself or any file for that case. Okay. So I have shared you one employee file. So I'll take that itself, employee.csv. You can create your own CSV file. I hope all of you know how to create a CSV file. Go to Excel, type whatever you want, go to Save As option, and choose comma separated values, CSV. Okay, this is more universal. Okay, Excel format is this is a proprietary type of MS Office, right? But CSV is universal. And upload it. That's it. Okay. So any doubts, anyone you can ask till what we have done. I know you are already familiar with these things now, but still, if anybody is left out, you can ask. So this is what we done now. We went to storage account. We created two containers, source and sink. Okay, uploaded one CSV file to source. File to source container. So what is the activity? With the help of ADF, I will replicate that CSV file to another container. Okay, another blob storage. So once you understand this process, okay, once you know the steps, this process, then you can go try with it SQL also, anything also. So I am not going with SQL. As you saw in the last activity, we need time for deployment of SQL Server, and also sometimes the firewall connection issues may have. But yeah, initially setting up only we can give exception for Azure services. But still, yeah, it's a little complicated. But the process is same. Once you understand what is this pipeline, what is the linked service, I know you already have a clear idea. But yeah, once you understand these terms and how to execute it, then you can do it in your own customized way. So I suggest you to stick to this activity now. And we do have another entirely different activity. If time is there, we'll do today or tomorrow. Yeah. So what is step 2?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
What is the exact purpose of a container? Why we need to go only with the containers?
See, you can directly upload also, but later I want to set to a destination. No, for example, I can keep all my files in one place, desktop. But better if I classify, it makes more sense, right? Later, if you make a connection from Azure Data Factory, I will have a clear idea. Okay, how to go check inside the source container. So it is basically structuring, classifying your this one. That's it.
Okay. Because I think like I can directly upload the file to
Yes,
the blob storage.
Definitely, you can directly upload. But the problem is like when see, this is a very simple activity, right? Imagine in like a proper this one. So multiple files will be there. So it will be a lot of confusions. So just the organization aspect, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, so we are doing in a simple way, but whenever we do something like standardization, like standard format of doing it. When we name a variable, we'll go with the proper naming convention, right? Otherwise, also it will work like that. I'm suggesting you to create two containers to make it clear. That's it. So next is create ADF. What is ADF? Azure Data Factory. Okay. So I know that you also know how to create it as of now, but still we'll go create one. I don't have a data factory. Okay, those who are already created, I saw many have created with SAR. If you already created, absolutely fine. You can use that. But only one request from my side, just make sure it is running. Okay, because if you have chosen some other resource group, it might go deleted. Okay, so those who are created under FTP 10, it will be still there. Okay, so how to create the step 2? You can search. You can search for Data Factory. Okay, I'll zoom a little bit. Okay, this is the icon of Data Factory. Okay, Data Factory. So choose this one. Yeah, okay, 41 records. Okay, cool. You people have already created the data factory. Okay, it's running, no issues. Yeah. No, I think it's not from our side. Okay, this is, yeah, it is not from our side. This is from another college. Okay, no issue. So you can create with me, no issue. So click create here. Yeah, same thing. Okay, same thing. Here also we don't have any complicated settings or anything. It's a comparatively very small setup. Okay, search for data factory in the search menu and go to data factory, and you can just click create. Okay, you can do along with me. This is a simple process. Yeah, I actually I saw some of you have this subscription issue still persisting. I saw in the chat box. So I request that if you're available, you can just look into it. Somebody was telling, I checked actually 2 of them already got invite, but I don't know why they're not able to access. But if you're there, you can just check once. Those who have still issues with this one. Yeah. So resource group FTP 10. Okay, instance details. Okay, instance details means same thing. See, basically the data factory also need a computing resource in the background, right? Because we are going to do perform. See, if there is a process, there if you're performing something, definitely we need a computing power behind it. So you can name it like anything. So I will go with this convention. Okay, Helvin's okay factory. Okay, this is going to be my factory. So you know that these naming conventions do help us. No, otherwise, like CSAR was getting confused which SQL database, because FDP why somebody else also created. Yeah, that is why I'm telling you go with your name, so it will be unique and you can easily find it out. And region, definitely I'll go with a different region because East US is very common and everybody will use it. So let me try North Central US. Okay. So you also choose diverse regions. Okay, version V2. Okay, currently Data Factory version 2 is available. So for that only by default it is there. So we can go with that. Okay. I hope nobody have any confusion till now. Yeah. Thanks to Sir, because he already showed these things. Let me go next. Okay, I'll just brief you these things. Okay. So I hope all of you know what is Git repository. Basically, we do version controlling, collaboration, everything in the Git. Okay. So we can configure, we can connect our data factory with the Git. Okay, why is that? This Git configuration we didn't see so far. Because data factory is a place where a lot of process happen. We said like ingest process and orchestrate. So like there is a lot of movements will be happening. Okay, fetching data, already many things will be happening. So if you want to connect with your Git and keep track of those changes, you can do that, but we are not doing it. So yeah, we can configure it later, not an issue. If at all needed. Okay, next is network. Okay, so connect via public endpoint. Definitely you have to give public endpoint. Otherwise, later, if you want to connect to your data factory from other services and all, it will be a problem. So keep it public endpoint only. So virtual network we already discussed. Okay, so if you want to create a particular virtual network dedicated for your data factory, you can do that. But yeah, we'll go with the default settings only. And next, advanced. Again, there's an encryption option here using customer managed key. Okay, we don't need it. Okay, we will go with MMK only. MMK is Microsoft managed key. Same thing we saw when we discussed the storage account also. Okay, so basically nothing is there. Okay, I'm just showing you. That's it. Tags, we already know what it is. So I'm not discussing on time on it. I'm not wasting time on it. Yeah, and you can click on review and create. So it will take some time. Okay, ADF do take some time for deployment. Okay, it won't be fast as your storage account. Yeah, so let it get. I'm just verifying everything. I'll create it. You must have already noticed that whenever we're creating a resource, it's not exactly one resource is being created. The best example is virtual machine. When we're creating virtual machine, it's not like one component is created. There are multiple components, the virtual network also, and the disk also, NIC also. Many things are created. Deployment status. Okay, I think there is a warning message. Unable to get deployment status. Okay, it's a warning. Okay, so it's not a problem. Okay, so let's go and see. Yeah, super. Why it is showing Poland's data factory? 1 second. Let me search my data factory. It's created or not. Yeah. Some technical glitch. Okay. Yeah, now it's my data factory. That was weird actually. I created and I got somebody else's data factory. Okay. Yeah. So if you see here, as usual, you can see left side menu, everything. Okay. So you can see here monitoring part. Okay, dashboard, pipeline run. As of now, you know what is pipeline and all, triggering, etc., etc. So what you have to do, we have to click this Launch Studio. Click Launch Studio. So okay, all this time we never had this thing. Okay, see, this is entirely opening a new tab, a new dashboard. Okay, so that itself is telling you the importance of data factory. See, when we create a virtual machine also, we never got like a particular dedicated dashboard. Okay, next tomorrow and all, we'll be discussing machine learning. That time also you'll get a separate entity like this, ML Studio. Okay, yeah. And I also saw that you were very interested in Power BI. Don't worry, the last day we are dedicated for Power BI. You see a lot of interesting things there also. Yeah. So yeah, so this is entirely new dashboard we are getting. Okay, so yeah, for those who are not following, I'll just add here, create ADF. Okay, Launch Studio. Launch Studio. Cool. Okay, so now what we're going to do inside ADF. Okay, so what we're going to do inside ADF. Okay, these steps I'll separately give here. Okay, the first step, we're going to create a linked service. Can anybody tell me what is a linked service? As of now, your understanding. What is a linked service? You have some understanding about linked service, right? It's okay. It can be wrong also, no issues. Can anybody like to share what is linked service? I'm audible, right?
So link service like in a pipeline, we are having multiple tasks being going on, and one task will take the output from the previous task.
Okay. Yeah, pipeline and link service. Okay, no issues. Yeah, there's actually two entities. So link service, as the name suggests, basically just a connection. Okay, linking to a connection. Okay, so linking to a particular source. Okay, so you can just imagine it's like a connection. Okay, see, imagine. Please mute, man. Yeah, thank you. So imagine that our data factory is a different entity. Our storage account is a different entity. So we have to make a connection between our data factory and storage account, right? For that, we are going to create a single linked service. Okay, create one linked service. Okay, we need only one linked service here. Why? Because for one source, one linked service is enough. One source, one LS. I will write LS. Okay, LS is enough. Okay, so here, see, both are blob storage. Okay, our source and destination both are going to be blob storage. So one link service is enough. Okay, so in SAR, when SAR showed you that example, we were using that two link service. Okay, one for SQL, one for blob storage, because there were two different sources. Okay, so here we do have a input and output, but both are going to be into blob storage. Okay, so we need to make a connection to blob storage, a connection to blob storage. Okay, so one linked service. So can anybody tell me where do I create a linked service here? Which option should I choose? Yeah, okay, so I'll just show you the option. See, home tab. Okay, home tab is like an intro thing. You can see order, monitor, manage. Okay, So other is where we write our data flows, pipelines, everything. Okay, the basic construction part will work here. Okay, other. Monitor is where we monitor the triggered pipeline, a currently running pipeline. What is the status, whether data generated, everything we will monitor here, like a dashboard. Okay, and manage is where we are going to create our linked service. Okay, so go to manage option. Okay, then you can see linked service. So by default connection, see it's itself is still link connections. Okay, so we are going to make a connection to a blob storage, and you can click new here. You can click new here. Okay, and just so how to create a linked service? Okay, manage. Okay, then under the connection you can click new service. Okay, new linked service. Okay, fine. Yeah, so click on this. Now, okay, now this steps is important. Okay, data store. Data store means what type of data source you are going to connect, or which type of data entity you are going to connect. So there are so many. Okay, this is the best thing about ADF. So many. Okay, hundreds of data sources are available here. Okay, variety sources are there. You can Azure Zone things are there. A third party also there. Everything is there. So basically, you can load from almost everything. See, Amazon S3 bucket also there. This is AWS storage mechanism. From there also you can store everything. So what is our interest? Our interest is blob, right? So we are going to connect to blob storage. So you can search for blob here. Okay, so you'll get Azure blob storage. You can get like this, or you can go to Azure. You can just remove this search. You can go to Azure. There you can see. See, I told you, it's our storage account have limited this one. There are other things also. Okay, so many other MariaDB, Cosmos DB, and all. Yeah. So we are going to connect to Azure Blob Storage. Click continue. So now you get a setup screen like this. So what is the setup screen? This is for your linked service. Okay. So name, okay, name is automatically coming as Azure Blob Storage 1. That means you're connecting to one particular blob storage. So you can rename it. We can give it like link to my blob. Okay, anything, any name, link to blob. Okay, you can rename, optional, completely optional. Okay. Yeah. So now you have to choose mandatory field. One is subscription. Okay, pay as you go. That is a subscription. Then your storage account. Then your storage account. Okay, so now you'll see a lot of storage accounts. So this is why I told you when you're creating storage account, you have to give a proper name. Okay, so I can search here. Helvin storage 123. So I'm sure that this is
after going to new linked service, then we have to choose Azure blob storage.
Yes, ma'am. Correct.
Blob storage.
Yes. Yeah. So it's not an issue. I'll just yeah, new. Okay, Azure blob storage. That's it. Continue.
Okay.
So link. Description is optional. Link to my blog. Yeah. So yeah, here you have to choose subscription. Here you have to choose your storage account. So search for it. Okay, search for it. It's a drop down, so dragging will take a lot of effort. Search for it and click it. Okay, don't forget to click it. Click your. So you'll see like loading the key. Okay, loading the key. So basically, what happened? The connection happens between your data factory and your storage account. Okay, yeah, that's it. Simple. So we don't have to do anything else. We can just click create. So how many linked service we need? In this activity, what I am making you to do, we need only one link service. Why only one link service? Because we are going to connect to only blob storage. Okay, suppose if you want to convert into SQL database, then you need two link service. One
Sir.
for blob storage, one for SQL. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, sync or source, sir, we have to connect.
We never did anything. We are not connecting to anything. No, we're just connecting to storage account. Yeah, storage account. Yeah. We are not telling sync and source here. That will tell in the next step.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. See, understand, ma'am. See, this is okay. I'll create this. So what is a link service? Okay, this is a connection to the blob storage. Okay, connection to the entire storage account. Okay, we are making the connection to our storage account. Okay, the entire set of data which is there. Then when we are writing the actual activity, we will specify okay which is source, which is sink. Okay, all those things we will be writing in other session. Okay, so one link service connection between ADF and your storage account or blob storage, anything. Okay, so that is what we done.
Link the services.
Okay, so for one particular source, one linked service is enough. Okay, so if you're using blob storage, here blob we are using, for blob, one is enough. Okay, so now what is step 2? Go to other. There we are going to do all these things. Other. So what we do in order, where is order? The second one, the pencil icon. This is order. Okay, I'll minimize it. So I hope all of you created the link service connected to your storage account. Okay, don't connect to anybody else's storage account. Okay, yeah, it may make conflicts real time. Yeah. So order. Yeah. So see, order is the most important among all this. Okay, you can see so many options are there. Okay, data flow is there, data sets is there, okay, data view is there, okay, capture view, pipelines is there. Okay, so I'll zoom a little bit. So what we are going to do for any operation, okay, we need data sets. Okay, so basically we have an input data set and we are going to have an output data set. Okay, so here what we are going to create, we are going to create two data sets, one for our source, one for our sink. Okay, one for source, one for sink. Okay, yeah. So create, okay, go here, data set. Okay, data set. If you expand this, you can see, okay, nothing is there as of now. Okay, nothing is there. So click on these 3 dots. You click new data set, or you can here also you can click. Okay, click on this big plus button. There also you can create a data set. So I'll go with this option, new data set. Yeah. So again, it's asking the same thing. Okay, which type of storage you want to connect? Okay, what is your data set? Okay, so here also what we have to choose? We have to choose blob storage. Okay, so blob storage. So I'm connecting to blob storage. Okay, continue. Okay, now there is a additional option. When we are creating linked service, this was not there. Why? Because this has something to do with the data. Okay, so we are actually going to test the data. So that is why it is telling, okay, you want to connect to your this one blob storage. Okay, I agree. Now tell me what format of data you are going to get in data set. Okay, so I have uploaded CSV file. Therefore, I'm going to choose delimited text. Okay, you can see here CSV. Okay, so click, we need to add 2 data set. Okay, one for source and one for sink. So first I'm doing for the source. Okay, so I choose the blob storage. I'm selecting this and I'm clicking continue. Okay, please tell me if I'm going fast or if you have any issues, you can tell. Okay, no problem. We have a time constraint. Okay, please understand that is why I'm going a little fast. Yeah, but I'm noting down all the steps. Okay, so I'll share this also. Yeah, so go to order. So what we are going to do, create 2 data sets. Okay, one for source, one for sink. Okay, one for sink. Okay, so just add a data set. So that steps I'll add there. Okay, so yeah, so now you're getting a screen like this. I choose blob storage. From there I choose deleted text. Okay, I'm getting a this one. So you can better always name it as a depends on the data set. So I'll name it like source data. Source data. Okay, now you see linked survey. Okay, I agree you want to connect to data set. Have you already connected your blob storage with your ADF? Okay, is there a bridge already created? Choose that bridge. Okay, that is the meaning. Okay, so yes, I have to choose my linked service here. Okay. So whatever link service I have created in my ADF, that will list here. Okay, not the entire link service. Okay, so my link service is linked to blob. I choose that. Yeah. Now once I choose that, I'm getting a file path option. Okay, so what I did, I named my data source, data set, to source data, and link service. From the drop down, I choose that link service which I connected with my storage account. Now I have to browse for the file. Okay, now I have to browse for the file. So you can see the folder here. I'll zoom and show you. Can you see this folder icon here? Yeah. This folder icon you can use for browsing. Okay, so I'll browse it. So once I browse, okay, it is showing me I have 3 containers. This is first we created in the morning, then these 2 we created. So which one you want to take the source data? Definitely from source container. Okay, this is why we need to name the containers accordingly. Okay, to avoid confusion. So from source container, select the employee.csv. Okay, employee.csv. Click OK. You can see here employee.csv selected. Okay, first row as header. Okay, what is first row as header? Most of the time, all the CSV Excel files will have the first row. Okay, entry will be the header, like name, everything. Okay, so that is why I'm choosing this. I will show you my file. Okay, so let's go see my file once. Yeah, I click view edit. You can see, yeah, this is my file. Okay, ID, name, department, okay, data analyst, developer, etc. So this first row is the header. The same thing I'm telling here. Yeah. So yeah. So just click OK. That's it. So don't have to do any changes here. There are so many customization options and all here. Okay, I'm not going into any of that. Okay, let's get it done once. Then let's, if time is there, I'll explain it. Okay, so one data source is done, source data. I need one more data source. That is for the output. Okay, so I'll click here, new data set, which I have to connect to my sync. Okay, sync container. I'll repeat same process again. Blob storage. Continue. Okay. So I see I'm doing a copy activity. So I'm copying a CSV file. So the output also definitely is going to be a CSV file because I'm storing it in the same folder. Okay, I mean same blob storage. Okay, so I'm sticking here with the delimited only. Imagine. Suppose if you were using a like SQL in the output part. Okay, SQL. Then in this case, you have to go to. You will be choosing SQL, and we'll be using that database name or table name respectively. Okay, so here I kept it very simple. We are doing a copy activity from blob to blob. Okay, one container of a blob to another container of the same blob. Okay, so I'll use delimited text only here. Continue. Same process. So I'll name this data set as output data or sync data, anything. Okay, give sync data. So choose the linked service, link to blob. Okay, so I'm again repeating. In this case, for both data set, we are using a single linked service. Why? Because from a Azure Data Factory, if you are connecting to a particular source, okay, like a particular storage container, okay, you need only one link service. Okay, if you want to connect to another source, then you need another link service. Since SQL and storage accounts are 2 different entities, we need 2 linked service if you're going with that particular activity. Okay, so when you try in the afternoon or whenever free, make sure that you will be choosing 2 linked service. If at all you are going with SQL copy. Okay, yeah. So now this step, most of the people have a confusion. Okay, when I created the first data set, I browsed that file. Okay, that is the employee.csv. But here, which file will I browse? Because there is no output file, right? There is no output file there. So what should I browse here? So you just need to browse the destination container. That's it. You just need to browse the destination container. Okay, that is the sync. No file is there in the sync. I know that, no issue. Just click OK. That's it. Okay, so just connect to the output container, destination container. Okay. Click OK. Yeah, that's it. So we are done with the second step of creating data sets. Okay. So I'll give you 1 minute. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay, creating two data set. Okay. So the step is like new. I'll just show you here. If anybody have any trouble, you can see new data set. Okay, choose that blob storage. Okay. Then you have to choose delimited text. Then you have to choose your link service. In the screen, what you're getting there, you have to choose link service. Browse for the file. Browse the file or folder. Okay, I'm telling it generally. Okay, file will browse for source, folder will browse for sync. That's
Elvin sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I worked in AWS as well as Gcloud. Now, by seeing Azure, I felt somewhat easy compared to AWS and Gcloud. Is it true?
Yeah, I also worked in GCP before, so I would say it is completely personal choice. Okay, I initially yeah, but you know that things are similar.
When I observe the interface, no, it's awesome. Sir.
Yes. Interface is good. Yes.
Yeah.
That I agree. UI is good.
And very nice, sir.
Yeah, the thing is once you know like Azure, okay, it's easy to learn GCP or AWS also. It's more or like similar. Only the terminology is different.
Yeah. Almost same. Only bit changes I observed.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So if you are interested, GCP also, AWS also provide free accounts. Like if you have a credit card, you can do that.
Yeah. I had a GCP account as well. I had Gcloud as well as I had AWS as well.
Good, great, sir.
Nice. Yeah. While you working hands-on, we must purchase the cloud, no, otherwise we can't.
Yes. I used to be a freelance developer, so that time I used to use GCP mostly.
Yeah. 2 rupees they will deduct it, so that's it.
Yes. 1 year you will get it. Yes.
Yeah, 1 year you will get. Yeah. Thank you.
So yeah.
Thank
you. Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah. So once your data sets are ready, the next step is pipeline. So what is pipeline? Simply saying, it's just a process. Okay, it is a process. You see, in real life also we say no. Okay, that is under pipeline. Okay, or government program, it is under the pipeline. That means okay, that is a work in progress. It is working. So theoretically, if you go, we say like it's a unit of or a block of related works together. Okay, we say. So the one pipeline may not have one activity. Okay, it can have a group of activity, but for common goal. Okay. So in our computer also, in the task manager, you can see that multiple tasks are running. Sometimes multiple Windows services will be contributing for one particular process, right? So like that, we are going to create a pipeline. Here we are not making anything very confusing or anything. We are going to create a simple pipeline. So whatever we create, the data set, we will feed into this pipeline and we'll make it work. Okay, so basically, if you want to run a pipeline, you definitely need two pre-requirements. That is, one is a link service and one is that data set. Okay, I think Sar have already showed you one graphical representation and all. Okay, same idea. Okay, same idea. So we'll go create the pipeline here. Okay, so where you create the pipeline? Here. So click here, new pipeline. Yeah, now this is very interesting. Like Sar said, the interface is superb, and also they make it more very convenient. Okay, they have so many built-in options here. Okay, so once I create a pipeline, yeah, you can name your pipeline if you like. Okay, you can name it like my pipeline for my copy pipeline. Yeah, like this, you can name it if you want, no issue. So whenever you monitor, it will be showing this name, okay, pipeline name. Yeah. So what we have to do? So there are so many predefined activities, okay, predefined activities. So what we did in the morning or what we're doing now, that is called copy activity. It comes under a classification called move and transform. Basically, we are moving the data, right? So move and transform have two options. Okay, one is copy, one is data flow. So this is what we are exploring now. This also, no, today I don't think we'll get time, but yeah, this also we'll cover, don't worry, okay? So copy activity, what we are going to do. So what you have to do, just drag and drop this. Okay, so this is our editor window, okay, where we'll do, so just drag and drop. Yes. Okay. So inside my pipeline, I dragged and dropped one copy, okay, one copy activity. So you can name it like this, okay, that activity, that particular activity I can name, okay, I can name it, what we say, copy activity 1. Copy activity 1. Okay, that means, okay, sir, can I add multiple activities into pipeline? Yes, you can. Okay, in real life, it will be very complicated. Okay, multiple things parallelly also execute, sequentially also execute. Okay, so you can do that here, no issue. You can drag and drop another component also in the same pipeline, not an issue. Okay, so as of now, we have only one activity, that is the copy activity 1. Okay. So I hope all of you were able to create pipeline, go to new pipeline, create pipeline, go to move and transform, drag and drop, copy data. That is the third step. So yeah, we have to configure things here. I'll tell you.
Sir, where to go and name it, sir?
A name here, ma'am. Once you click on it, once you click on it, it will come. Yes, yes. The options will come when you click on the component. So not only name, we have to give some important things. Okay, you're telling me to copy, tell me the source and destination, definitely. So you can see source and sink. So this thing is a terminology commonly used in data science, okay, for the destination. Okay, so go to the source, you can see one, okay, you can see one in red color. That means there is one required argument, a parameter you have to give here. Okay, so click on source, select data set. Okay, so source data. I'm choosing the source data. I'm not going to any customization or anything. There are many settings. Take your time and explore it. Okay. Then there is sink. Okay, so there also we are already ready made. So it is ready. See, think of like you are making food. Okay, you're cooking. So what we do, all the sub things, okay, we'll make it ready. Okay, the main ingredients, we'll grind it and keep it ready. And the actual cooking process, we'll add it. Same like that. In the pipeline, we made everything ready, all data set ready. We'll just add it into the pipeline. And actually, then now we have to open the switch on the stove and cook it. So that is the next thing we have to run that activity. Okay, we have to run our pipeline. I'll give you 1 minute to do it. I'll just keep it here also. Okay, document it here. So any doubts you can ask me till now. So create pipeline. Okay, select source and sink. Okay, or you can we can say configure. Okay, configure. You can configure the source and sink. That is the third step. Okay. A, B, C. Okay, A, B, C. So create pipeline also comes under other only. Under other only. Yeah. So all good till now?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Yeah. Yes, so sir. What is now we have to run it. So running, I have to. Yeah. Thank you, sir. So I have to tell you a few things here. Okay, debug is there. Okay. Okay, first validate is there. Okay, validate automatically it will happen once you publish it. Okay, that I will tell you. So we had debug and triggering. So what is the difference between debug and triggering? Debug, you know, like Sar was telling, no, prod and development environment. So if you worked in IT industry, you will know that there will be a testing server, then there is a Scrum server like that. Multiple servers are there. So like that, in the debug means just for testing purpose we can run. The pipeline do actually run, and you will definitely get the output also if you debug. Okay. But you may not able to use this pipeline later, okay, somewhere else. Okay, you may not be available outside this thing. or you may not be able to monitor it in that monitor section. We have here the monitor section, right? I think I just minimized it. Yeah, so I'll just, yeah, here the monitor is there. No, so you may not be able to monitor it. So debug will work. Okay, so one option, okay, first you can publish it, publish all. Publishing is actually not needed for debug, but it's a good practice. Let's publish and do it. So when you publish it, okay, we are making the changes permanent. Okay, validation also will happen. Okay, we are making the changes permanent. We are adding these changes. What are the 3 changes we did? 2 data set and 1 pipeline. Okay, these changes are integrating to the ADF. Okay, published. Okay, pipeline is not running. Okay, don't get confused. Pipeline is not running. We just validated our changes and published. We made it permanent in our ADF. Okay, so I'll add here. You follow these steps. Okay, I'll tell you the difference, not an issue. Let's go with the standard steps. Okay, let's publish all. Okay, so if you're debugging, publishing is not really mandatory, but let's publish it, not an issue. Next step, we want to run it. So run, you have debug option. Okay, you can debug, or you can have trigger now. Okay, I'll show you both. Okay, debug also you can do, trigger now also you can do. Okay, but before doing that, let's go and make sure in our storage account. You go to your storage account, take 1 minute, go to your storage account, go to the sync. Yeah, make sure it is empty. Okay, yeah, I made sure. Okay, this is empty, no issues. Okay, so now I'll run my pipeline. Okay, once I run the pipeline, it will complete. Then I'll see that copy created in my sync. Okay, you also take 1 minute and go check sync is empty. Yeah, so you can debug it. Okay, we'll debug it and see. Yeah, we'll debug this. Click debug. So you can see that here. Okay, here you can see the progress. You see here the progress. Okay, output. Okay, what is happening? Debug pipeline status in progress.
Sir,
So
where is
when
that
you
publish option?
here, sir, here on top. Here it will come publish. Got it, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so even if you don't publish also you can debug, it's not an issue. Yeah, so once you debug, you can see the activity status, okay, activity type, start time, end time, duration. Okay, it took just 15 seconds. Why 15 seconds? My data file is very small, hardly some bytes, right? So if you choose a big CSV file, it may take some more time. Okay, so you can see here. So one thing to be noted, if you're debugging, okay, if you're debugging, okay, this monitor, it won't come. Okay, in this monitor debug won't come. This monitor is for the triggered pipelines actually. Okay, so if you're debugging, you will here itself you will see the status. Okay, that monitor if you go check, you may not see. Okay, so now what is the trigger now? See, add trigger now. That means you want to officially use it, formally use it in a development environment. Okay, if you want to really use it in a production environment, okay, not development. So if you want to trigger it, if you want to actually run it, you can trigger now. Okay, you can use the trigger now, or you can connect with another activity. Okay, another activity, when something else happen, you can trigger it like that also you can do. Okay, so for testing purpose you can use debug. You actually want to use it somewhere else, you can use trigger now. Once you trigger now, you will be able to monitor it here. Okay, you will be able to monitor it here. So first I'll show you the output, then I'll show you triggering also. Go to sync, refresh once. You can see employee.csv. So under the sync container, you can see employee.csv. So make sure, open it and make sure the data is same. I'll right click and edit, and also you can edit and see, run again and see the changes are happening. So it's just like Sar showed you in the morning. Okay, you can see that, yeah, the same data. Okay, so what we'll do now, we can make some changes in the source and we'll trigger and see again. Okay, triggering has same effect as your this one. Storage account. debug with storage. Yeah. So containers. So we'll go to source. Okay, the source I'm editing. Okay. Okay, so let's edit somewhere here. Okay, BDA data scientist. Yes, you can click save here. So this is why I told you to go with CSV, because CSV have this advantage. You can directly edit it. Okay. So now if you want to make these changes available in your this one sync, then you have to run again, or you have like scheduling options and all. Okay, Sir was telling that. But yeah, basically you can just run again. Yeah. So what will I do? I will trigger now and I will show you what happens when you trigger. Okay. Click trigger now. Okay. 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 So now if you go to the monitor, see, you can see it is running. So go to monitor. Yeah, you can track it here. Okay. Once you trigger, see manual trigger. I manually triggered, right? So it can be triggered by other Azure components also. So in progress, you can see. So we're debugging, you will see there itself status. If you're triggering, you can see in this monitor. Okay, so now it is telling successful. Succeeded. Okay, so let me go to sync. Okay, sync. Okay, this was the previous data in sync. So let me refresh. Sir, kindly mute yourself, sir. I'll just refresh this. Might take some time to refresh. You can check the last modified time. Yes, you can see changes happen. Okay, I changed a business development execute into BDA and data analyst into data scientist. Okay, so if you debug also trigger also, the effect will be same only, but you can see that, yeah, this is happening. So I know some of you might wondering, okay, why should I do this ADF and all to just copy this file? Okay, think in the big picture. Okay, so this is, I took the simple example so that everybody can follow. It won't confuse you. But imagine if you know the process, okay, if you know the drill, then you can do it for any situation. Okay, minor changes will be applicable, like I said. Okay, so debug or trigger now you can use. Okay, so this is a short steps, I would say. Okay. So I hope all of you got. So I have a request to those who got the output. Just put a screenshot of your ADF or your output sync. Okay. So either you can running pipeline is running. If you got a screenshot, you can paste it in the chat box, or you can show the output sync. This one also, this screenshot also. Okay, if already pipeline run, if you got output, you can show this. If your pipeline is running, you can show this. So kindly request all of you to put a screenshot in the chat, because we also want to make sure that you are doing along with us. Yeah. Meanwhile, I am open to any queries regarding Azure Data Factory. I know it's a huge concept. You will have doubts. And don't worry, we are not concluding with this. We have one more activity, a little more interesting activity. We'll do that ADF tomorrow. The first thing. Check the chat. Yeah. How to go to sync and refresh? Just go to your storage account, sir, and just reload that sync page. Okay, that refresh may not work, so you can just reload the entire page. Which I can do debug? It is written there, sir. Debug, it's written there. So it is written. Okay. Yeah. There itself is written. See, debug itself is written. The run like written there. And yeah, I can see a lot of messages coming. Okay, great. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Aruna, ma'am. Thank you, Neeta, ma'am. Yeah, thank you for your participation. Any more doubts, you can ask. I still see that people are asking for attendance link. There is no attendance link, sir. You have to do self-attendance in the LMS. Yeah, cool. Sir, when I get Azure invite, I'm missing hands-on. I don't know, sir, why you're still left out. Yesterday only we sorted out for everybody almost. It's very late, yeah, but we'll try. Okay, only tomorrow
Yes,
we'll have.
this was wonderful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, tomorrow, at what time, sir? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow same time, sir. 9:30 to 1:30.
Tomorrow we'll meet you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I think,
Sir.
can you hold on for like 5 minutes? Shashudan may need to tell something. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Helvin.
Yeah, sir. Sure.
Yeah, I'll just close this in 2 minutes. It's already like 1:26. We will close it in 2 minutes. And Elvin, if you want, you can also stop the recording. So yeah, few announcement. One is like we have circulated the Google form to understand the convenient time to attend the